can use, but those win rate matters the most. 4 years is gonna get banned out in the first ban for Homeboys, so no more Demonic Force being used upon these 4 years. Meanwhile, the EXO gonna ban out the Fanny. Funny enough, that is, if I'm not mistaken, one of the 3 heroes that they banned out in yesterday's game, which was the Lucas, the Hanzo, and the Fanny. All 3 games being banned out by the EXO.
Well, that was specific.
Banned out by the EXO.
Okay.
Well, that was specifically because they were up against
Ah.
Monster Vicious, right? Very specific
go,
pocket
boom.
bans versus Uni, which ended up working out quite well for them. I don't think the EXO will be able to use the same sort of strategy
we are
this
moving.
time, though, because every single player on the side of Homeboys is a viable threat, and their hero pools are all pretty deep. So you gotta attack the playstyle in general here. If we look at the tendencies of both these teams, I would think that Homeboys is a little bit more of an aggressive team towards the early to mid game, but when we get into the late game, especially the ultra late game, that is where Homeboys needs to be the most wary. That is where DXOL becomes their scariest, because you just somehow can't end the game against this team.
I agree. I definitely agree with you right there. It's a very
Right
targeted
there,
ban,
right there.
as what the side of the EXO did yesterday up against Monster Vicious, but maybe against Homeboys it will be a different kind of style, because as we can see, Chip has been banned out by the side of the EXO. So we do have to note that, or we do have to mention about the Baxia. It's being opened up right now. If not the Baxia, the Kimi as well. So this Kimi and Baxia trade, is it gonna be doable? Or are DXO gonna ban out at least the Baxia and maybe, just maybe, Homeboys? I don't think they're gonna look into Kimi as a first pick, although they would like to, but maybe they would like to secure a more flexible pick, something like a Badang in the first phase.
Badang's not really a first pick hero though. First phase maybe, definitely not first pick.
Yeah, just now, SRG picked it up.
They did?
They did.
I mean, SRG just does things.
Yeah, but then again, it's SRG at the end of the day, right?
But yeah, it makes sense that the Fredrin would be banned out instead of the Baxia or Kimi here, because banning out the Baxia would just give Homeboys a free Kimi first pick. It still ends up being a bit of an issue here though, because Homeboys gets the Baxia first. And I feel like it's really interesting to look at the evolution of Baxia in the meta, where initially it was used as kind of a gambit to counter Kimi, but players started realizing, actually, this hero is really good, and decided that they can actually prioritize him regardless of Kimi's presence.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny enough, even with a Baxia, DXO still opt to go for Kimi and with the Badang as well, but again, we're not too sure where this Badang is
ban Chip, ban Fredrin, ban Joy, ban Kimi,
right?
ban
can be put in the mid lane, can be put in the gold lane as well, but the Baxia itself, I feel like, is super strong enough to not just withstand the Kimi, but whatever marksman that is going to get picked up in the next phase, even in Assassin Jungler as well. So it's going to be very, very much annoying, and it really depends on how DXO is going to play around this. Right now, I feel like they are falling into a trap, but maybe, just maybe, I would like to be proven wrong. They still believe that this Kimi can be the difference maker.
I mean, Kimi is always going to be a difference maker in my opinion. This hero is just offers you a little bit too much. It's not only a scaling damage dealer in the late game, the amount of poking and then push checking with the ultimate, as well as even starting out fights is really annoying to deal with. So I think it's just a safe hero to lock in these days without really needing to worry about much. Homeboys wants to make sure they can punish that poking though, so they pick up some double artillery, the Granger and Farsa.
Yeah, I like what the Homeboys are doing right now. They put a front line with the Baxia. Even him alone itself can, you know, provide a good amount of absorbent of damage and provide 2 artillery damage from long range as well with the Granger and the Farsa. One thing to note about the Granger, it's a fantastic hero to play from behind, because with the Sky Piercer, if let's say you're down by, regardless of how many goals, pick up the Sky Piercer and try to funnel back all those skills towards the Granger so that he can also be the difference maker if let's say you're playing from behind.
Definitely. The Hayabusa was also locked in, so the EXO going for the assassin playstyle. Yesterday, we saw Kimin. He has improved a lot on these assassin heroes compared to how he was playing during the regular season. So this is now something worth respecting. They ban out the Lucas for the first ban in their second phase, since right now, Homeboys has still not actually shown their jungler. Nothing about Homeboys is, you never know if they're actually going to flex out a tank jungler. Yeah, you normally do that with Fredrin, but Baxia is in a perfectly good position to do that as well. And really depends on what their approach to this draft is going to be. Do they want to get rid of more frontliners like the Gatot or Hylos that could threaten the back line? Or do they want to get rid of more DPS options? Looks like it's the latter.
Yeah, I mean, looks like it's the latter for Homeboys. And Homeboys providing or throwing out very important questions to DXO right now. Guess where this Baxia is going to go, because 3 major roles that he can go right now: the jungle, the EXP lane, and I'm pretty sure all of these 3 players can play Baxia really well. So DXO gotta think deep, especially for Cousteau for the 4th pick before they wrap things up with the picking phase right now. Link is gonna get banned out, so no banning another hero for Amal to use. Meanwhile, Irital is gonna get banned out. So what's left for SkyZ? Harith is still there, is it? If I'm not mistaken, not too sure about it. So maybe that can be used. Or they put Kimi on the goal side and they pick up a different mid laner.
I still feel like Kimi mid lane is always going to be the best choice. If we're looking at comfort, then yes, Harith is there, but there is also SkyZ's signature 1-1, right?
Oh, yep.
It hasn't been banned out just yet. Looks like they go for the safer option since there's not a lot of good heroes for a crossbow tank to be set up on right now on the Homeboys side. But now Homeboys gets to actually finish off their composition. Where does this Baxia go?
I still like can put your Baxia in the jungle, but would that mean you're only heavily reliant on your Farsa and your Granger to be able to do the damage dealing part? But in terms of tankiness, you're super tanky.
Masha.
This is Baxia jungle.
Alright, so Bell is gonna have a field day with this Masha. Most likely gonna go up against the Badang, but we shall see the last pick from DX later on. One more pickup, Hylos.
Cho could also be not bad. Yep. Depends on whether they want to play more defensive or more aggressive catch. Ooh,
Matilda on!
Matilda
Baxia jungle.
This is some solid early mid-game aggression coming in from Homeboys.
You imagine Baxia with a good amount of health, very good defense capability or defense-based stats. With a Matilda as well, who's just gonna keep healing the Baxia and provide more mobility to the Baxia. Oh, this is gonna be very tough for DXO.
Yeah, I really like this Matilda. We already know is a great hero for engaging and disengaging. You get the Baxia in, you get the Baxia out, you provide shielding. Looks like Glue going to be the final pick on the side of DXS. Honestly, both teams are pretty solid, right? I think both sides have good damage, have good bulk, but I really like this combination of Matilda Baxia from Homeboys. It has been such a long time since we've seen this.
The only way, or one of the only way for DXO to go to the back line, try to catch the or try to catch the Farsa, is of course with the Hayabusa, with the Augie Shadow kill. Secondly, maybe a Flicker Fist Crack Fist big combo by Rasi. That is one of the ways they can do, because I don't see a way of SkyZ going to the back end so much. Not to say Storm as well. Glue maybe. These are all possibilities, but only one true future will come to pass. Depending on how the game goes for both these teams, they are going to be able to set their first foot through the door into the upper bracket finals. Let's find out if it's going to be the Homeboys or DXO who take the first victory in the Land of Dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who just tuned in, welcome. This is match number 2, game number 1 between Homeboys up against DXO to determine who's going to go to the upper bracket finals and go up against Selangor Red Giants later this evening. As we take a deeper look at the emblems and spells, is there anything that catches you off guard? Let me see. Tenacity, movement speed for Glue. Okay, Badang tenacity. So a lot of 2 tenacities for the side of DXO, expecting there is a lot of damage that they need to be able to absorb. So hence why the tenacity. Other than that, I think is set in stone right now.
Tenacity makes a lot of sense for DX, and Rasi is going to be forced to flicker here. They know, based on the draft, Homeboys are going to be the aggressors. They're the ones going to be looking for fights a lot of the time. And DX, their goal is really just to survive it. Kim is going in, has the Augie Shadow kill, forces a flicker out from Izanami. Coming caught out, stunned against the wall. First blood going to Kim.
That is a very good
ช
shield.
ม
Good shield from
เจอรถ
Rossi
ทีมซ้อ
himself
ตอน
right
นี้
there to be able to escape
งานรถทีมซ้อว่ะ
that from Ivan in terms of the early stages. But as I
ก็
mentioned
เป็นโยซัน
early
ก็
on,
ติ๊กตีไป
Kim in managed to get level 4 immediately went forward to try and catch a kill on Amal, knowing that okay, the guiding winds has been used. Amal still doesn't have the ultimate, so it's so easy for him with his friends to just bundle up and go up against the Buckshot just now.
Yeah, that was actually really good timing from DXOL as well. They saw that Amal was level 3. Keemin was able to clear just a little bit faster since Homeboys didn't give much of a initial leash. So they used that initial Ogi Shadow kill to get a kill, and they were able to find one of the most important target. Kemin now has a level lead up. He has full control over the turtle, and there's nothing Homeboys can really do to catch up to it. Vel gonna be dropped to his last HP bar. I don't think he can escape. Grab. Siska getting pulled out really fast. No Thunder Grab connects. He's gonna flicker over the wall. Amal gonna try and get this glue taken down. And Siska knows it is the end. That's
Chico มาซ้ายมันก็ตีจะโจคงแตรบันตาฟ้าใช่ไหม
I don't think he chef used the grab on
ไม่ต้องมาจีก้อนงง
Vel who had the guiding winds to be able to save him from that bot side. So mistakes were made, but it's still okay for them. So Rossi, gotta be careful. Amal.
Better airstrike gonna be pulled forward with the guiding winds. That's another potential combo with the Matilda. Give Homeboys more zone control.
Okay, sorry, maybe I have not casted Maybe I have not casted enough games to notice that interaction, but that's a very cute small interaction that could be a big difference maker. Because once you reposition the FedEx, right, you have longer reach, you have longer range as well at the same time to be able to catch out whoever is left. On the top side right now, I think it's even Stevens between Naughty and SkyZ. Both of them are just respecting the distance between one and another. But right now, Imal just gonna find some way to farm up. As of now, Kimin is one level ahead.
Yeah, although I did mention Homeboys have a position where they can be more of the early aggressors, they don't actually need to either. I think both teams have very good scaling compositions and solid late game carries that they can depend on. So even though these two teams are known for being a little more active, there is a possibility that they just play it a bit slower to go for those like 4 item power spikes.
And they know that the side of Homeboys to farm and if it's all the kills is gonna funnel to Kimin, who's gonna have a small of a time. So they do understand that challenge, they do understand that threat that the Exo has. Hence why they are playing it a bit more passively. Just farm up for Melkity. Maybe, just maybe, once Melkity has this Sky Piercer, they go a bit more aggressive. Try to get more kills. Try to activate those Sky Piercer stacks on Melkity.
Here's the next turtle up now. Amal can be the first one on it. DXOL definitely in a slightly better position to contest this time. Better airstrike gonna come out. Fist break. The Circle Eagle gets 2-man lockup. Keeman gonna be jumped on. Thunderclap misses. Fist crack connects with Rossi against the wall, but it's not quite enough. Still, going to be no depth on the map for now.
I mean, with Ivan, right, Homeboys can withstand longer in this team fight. The healing capability, the zoning capability at the same time. DXOL, this guy is gonna go forward.
Chico pha ra muốn chặt tim rồi Vinh.
Is an army dealing with the glue on the grab. He will be able to walk away as Amal is taking a lot of abuse from Stole. He's still alive for now thanks to the shielding coming out. Circling Eagle gonna go for the Thunder Stone, but he actually misses it out. And Feathered Airstrike a little bit too far. Follow up on Keeman. Secures the turtle. Amal gets caught with the fist break. Pulled out with the guiding.
Khạcเลยcô. Nó mình ngộp Imo trên đánh lơ cô rồi.
Still alive but lost the Rossi right now.
Ê, Imo.
Try to get a kill on Amal.
Màu là Keemin màu đây. Slap đánh trời ra.
Find it.
Chôm mà toàn
they weren't ready for the second one.
I think that they should be ready. They noticed Amal was there as well, but I'm not too sure why Amal. Sorry, they noticed Kimin was there at the same time, so I'm not sure why Amal did not just.
Mình đang bật chiếc con tại trình nó.
I think Amal was dead for sure. It's just a matter of those kills has been given to Kimin, and right now he is on the right track to be able to snowball ahead. Although that being said, still have to take a look at Granger right now. Skycracer has been picked up. DXOL is on the lead. Is with the 2.3k gold lead. In hand, 6-minute mark. But it all depends on how they control Melkity later on.
Yeah, this is where we can continue to see a bit more development from DXOL. How well can...
Oh,
they found
pha xà ra cho mà sao combo free này.
Eyeing the chance
Trời mình khơi lâu tới nó cam bốc liệt chết
the
này.
chance perfectly and perfectly.
Rồi mà còn khơi mới pha xa nó biết lên lúc flick một chạm vô rồi.
Especially up against
Cao được
Izanami.
Okay, shadow kill not quite enough to finish off Mel thanks to the guiding wind.
Chụp emo thì đây.
He's locked into the wall. The EXO
Emo
not
thì mình
gonna
đốt chỉnh
pursue.
bị mặt đai
This
này.
is very tough for homeboys right now. They need
Emo nó
to
chỉnh chị
regather back their strength. They need to regather back their focus. And maybe just fight it target anybody right now. Skyzet might be the focus.
Chắc bay với nó.
Easy enough for you to just hit and run.
Thật năng ấy, chắc bay thật năng ấy.
Look at the position of Kimin. They are ready to counter engage.
They're ready all the time here. I'm really liking the positioning from the EXO. Their strike comes out. Skyzet actually goes in with the Zaman Force. Rossi is there. He found MelQT. Flicker backwards, forced out of the Granger.
Chơi người chơi mình thiệu đa chơi người chơi to này. Chơi người chơi ngon.
Definitely right. They know, they understand that.
Mọc buộc hai đất vai vai vinh.
To be fair, 2.7k deficit, which means
buộc gồ lên cái gồ lên cái đinh vai vinh vinh nữa.
That they don't have enough damage to be able to kill anybody off on the side of the EXO. So hence why the EXO are using this information.
Mà khi đang muốn chụp pin ấy. Mà đang rồi. Chỉ có pha ra muốn. Ngọc cái chơi đó. Cho rồi. Nơi làng chiêm. Làng chiêm. Làng thì ôi gì. Tôi hay nha. Chỉ có bên trên ngọc ai cả lú ơi, cả lú qua cả lú mũi bắt bay nè đấy. Flap. Boom. Được vạch tịch.
Siska melts down the Granger, and the fight is still on
Sky
because Kimin has been waiting the whole time, gets killing spree on top of Ivan. Thunderclap makes him retreat. Siska still alive, still healthy, still standing in front of Sky. Trying to Mel forward, but he went too far. And Mel punishes him for it.
Vì đó cái lú. Chỉ có muốn early nữa trên này. Chỉ có là nông bò về lúc
You need to be able to get some kind of victory right now. On the bot side, the turret has been taken away by the minions, but homeboys so far are not able to find this angle that they always found in previous matches, where Izanami's feather airstrike is always gonna get taken care of. Izanami is always gonna get control, is always gonna get zoned out. Meanwhile, Mel
strike bad trong trên
unfortunately couldn't do it.
Trên BOD bạt cho lên đi mê gió. Hay da.
Who are they gonna prioritize? Of course, the positioning.
Mà cao luôn clip qua bên đây. Pha xa mùi sẽ chơi ta mình xuống mà cao luôn biết đặt trò rồi.
Very precise so far. They know the targets they need to aim for. Traction pulse forces a dash out of MelQT.
Đó trên Holy Crystal này.
Making sure the EXO cannot engage.
Holy Crystal.
Homeboys cannot afford to lose.
Ba gì đi lên tan này.
Definitely cannot lose more.
Và gì tan là về toàn mình là hai toàn mình Holy Crystal này, lột Holy Crystal nó cái bộ quẩy. Cái trăm ai thông hai cái tranh
as of now. Meanwhile, the EXO can be more
aggressive, more
freely.
Chạm chuột.
Gonna go on forward.
Circling Eagle gets a knock up, but Kimin just going the quad shadow away. So far, homeboys have not been able to get a gank this entire time. Their strike is not looking for Skyzet. He flickers forward, the Zaman Force, but the rest of homeboys are here. And the Thunderclap locks in the killing spree.
Okay, unfortunate events right there. I'm not so sure that it's gonna make it. Flicking forward is not the right idea. So far, Rossi
trying to buy some time, still pulling him backwards, but circling Eagle used by Ivan gonna catch up with them. Do some good poke. Bell looking for an entrance. But the poke actually a little bit too annoying from this Kimmy.
Yeah, I mean, Val gotta be careful. We know that the Thunderclap can be very much annoying. He's gonna showcase himself.
Chỉ có bao nhiêu mà.
They're trying to engage on him. Feather Ezra comes out once again. Rossi gonna be stuck, forced to use the fist crack defensively, and he will lose his life. Kimin not able to find the angle. He shadow kill. Does he have it? He does not. He has to get away. Because this is buying time. He goes in. He catches MelQT. That's gonna be one kill. Amal falls as well. The EXO trade for two.
How
did that fight won for the EXO? This guy is not gonna stop. He's gonna get back off right now. Split plate has been used, but the EXO, how in the world they managed to turn things around? Because Kimin was very much low on health. He had to back off. So that was like a 4 versus 5 kind of a situation where the EXO won that fight. On top of that, A lot has been taken away by DXO. Props to Siska finding a kill against Malcuti just now.
This glue is actually a big problem for the homeboys. They're really just not able to get him in time. Kimin wasn't actually able to steal the orange, but at least he made sure Amal wouldn't be the one getting it as well. So far, DXO have been doing a great job of just scattering the team fights, not allowing homeboys to play the more aggressive style they're used to.
I agree. I mean, if that case situation was a different scenario where Malcuti managed to get at least 1 kill, 2 kills, to top back the Sky Piercer stack, it would have been very much different. But right now, Mel to death with the Sky Piercer is not going well. So, yes, I talk about Granger being able to play from behind, but you need to be able to get those Sky Piercer stacks. As of now, homeboys are not able to do that. That's right. As the beginning of the high ground defense for the side of homeboys.
We'll be able to clear up the Lord in exchange for the holy defense down bottom. Actually a pretty good timing since it will expire naturally by itself pretty soon anyway. The EXO gonna change their target to mid tier 2. I think they should be able to get it. They've got really solid the structure will go down.
5k gold lead, roughly 6k gold lead for the side of the EXO. 12-minute mark in terms of game time. 8 kills in hand, and level 15 has been achieved by Kimin. Right now, it all depends on how DXO controls the lead. They need to be able to make good decision making between either pushing or trying to fight at the one hit later on. Meanwhile, homeboys, try to claw their way back in terms of the gold lead. Second of all, again and again, target prioritization, because I don't think like they can take the fight as but they need to take it single target. Is offside to fight front, just jump on him, try to get a kill, at least pop the immortality. If you can't get Siska, it will be very, very difficult for homeboys to go onto the back end to try catch Storm, who right now only registered 1 death so far.
The thing is, if you're trying to get Siska though, you need Amal to actually survive longer than the glue, and that's just not really happening. Homeboys have a very specific approach to the fight where Amal tanks the damage, Bell goes for the flank, and Ivan supports where necessary. But DXO themselves are already threatening the backline a lot of the time, thanks to Rasi being freed up to just go for damage dealers by Siska. Which means that homeboys are oftentimes having to put the defensive positioning.
I do agree, but as long as Siska is alive, again, homeboys will find it very difficult for them to maneuver around, regardless of they want to play front to back or try to catch the backside of the side of the EXO. Even Val right now, yes, without any death, 3 kills, but it's very, very hard for him to find these thunderclaps against Kimin. He did a phenomenal job, but he needs to do more. And how does he do that? Imal got to space, but then again, Imal, level 13 only, itemization is not filled up yet, so he's not that of a tanky of a hero. Maybe with the help of Ivan, maybe they can do something, but it really depends on how or what they do about it.
We can see the lack of catch on the Baxia is actually affecting Homeboy's ability to play around this tank jungler. Unlike the Fredrin, Amal doesn't really have a way of starting the fight on his own, and every time Homeboys tries to engage, the EXO just needs to slowly kite backwards. And that is making things a little difficult.
Alright, the Lord has spawned on the from the Lord dance between both of these teams. Winter Crown has been purchased by Malcuti to just be able to maneuver around, counter-engage or outplay certain situation. But in terms of outplay, we do have to take a look at how his cry has been used by the Astra at the same time. Not too sure was that even necessary right now.
Here comes the flank. Kimin with the shadow kill gonna be denied with the crown from Malcuti. He's gonna flicker away from Siska, but here comes Kaiser. He's aiming for the Granger. He got pulled out with the guiding wave. Grab into the mega kill. And Skyzed is melting down Amal. The EXO have found two of the most important members of the Homeboys, one after the other. Let's get a shutdown on Bell just for good spirit.
I mean,
Lord freeได้2 ปีเนี่ยไฟ Lord free จอไฟ Lord
was taken care of by DXO.
ไอ้กัดจังไงมันกัดจังไง
to go on the back side, especially to go on top of Amal just now, as well as the Malcuti. Nothing they can do about it. Okay, shadow kill.
มาคอยมึงจัวมาดอย
That's a mistake. He goes down and they catch his enemy as well. The crystal is going open. DXO are doing it. Unstoppable wipeout on the whole.
ไว้เตียโยมาได้จบใจจี
have drawn first blood
đi vay smooth ra vui.
Versus the homeboys.
Tôi mà bạn đang mặt từ mặt thiệt đà mũi lột flick màu chập pha giá mũi.
Taking game number 1, taking point number 1. When in fact, when we take a look at the draft, homeboys had the first pick. DXO was just counter engaged, was just reacting to the of the draft. But once the draft has been said and done, it's all about execution, baby. And boy, I tell you, the execution by DXO, especially Rasi.
Yeah. Vậy đây. Hello. Hey. Anh ngất chừng nhỉ? Hey. Thấy chưa? Tách phượng. Ô, chẳng mà chi. Ê, yêu chiếc áo sao mà mong phía internet nhung. Qua đây kì comment, đã kì comment kia đi đây. Kì đạch đã dừng cái chùa. Mình sẽ mới nhé. Mình sẽ mới. Chụp ảnh ấy kê sầm rạ vài màn tí vậy. Kê sầm rạ vài màn tí nè. Anh ấy vô ai đọc thì chiều. Chân dương ai tư lên game bàn và mang game hai chim dương bẹt màu bình mà bẹt màu với cứ khúc còn rồi. Let's go bông. Chữ đồ nhảy nhảy đi. Này đai thì lấy á. Đai thì lấy chọn vào đây. Ơi sọp mà chân. Mẹ. Mày.
Tank jungle with damage EX laner, and it is usually able to get them a pretty notable snowball towards the early and mid game, which they can use to end quite quickly. But the problem with a composition like this is that it will usually approach fights in a very distinct way, a very predictable way, and DXO are aware of that. They just avoid playing the way homeboys want them to. All of a sudden, you realize
nó kê đặt lương vào đây. Lại đặt lương ngon bao nhiêu mà
này. Of Izanami 0, 3 and 4. Take a look at the gold as well. Only 6,400 gold. Showcasing that first, Izanami did not have a good time in terms of farming in the early stages. Was caught off guard by the immense pressure from Kimi, from Glue, from Badang at the same time. Second of all, Feather Airstrike was not be able to open up by Izanami in a full length of time. Most likely is going to get disturbed by, again, Hayabusa, the Skyzet, the Harit when opening up the Summon Force, and of course, Rasi trying to set up immensely or immediately once the Feather Airstrike has been opened. So Izanami did not had a good game, maybe not much of his fault, but it's just this current situation of it does not allow him to do so, except for that death he had on the mid side, on the mid lane, where Rasi flickered and caught him off guard.
Yeah, that was a really good call by Rasi, and just generally good calls from DXL throughout this game. I feel like they had been thinking ahead about how to play against this since before the game even started. Because again, when you look at the draft from Homeboys, you have Matilda, Farsa, Baxia. This is a very powerful early mid trio that can rotate around the map and start building pressure. What do DXL do? They immediately lock down on mid lane priority. The moment Kimin hits level 4, they gank mid. They got lucky getting a kill on Amal. I don't think they were expecting to do that. The goal was just to pressure Izanami, but they got even more as a result of really smart gameplay.
Very unfortunate events for Amal with that death as well, because that death delayed that level 4 from the Baxia, and once it was delayed, and the kill was given to Kimin as well, so it's like a knife to the heart for the side of Homeboys. You lost the battle on the mid side, fine. Amal got killed, fine. Amal did not get level 4 at the same time. There is where you draw the line and it feels like, okay, it's gonna be a tough battle early on, because the EXO has such an amazing advantage early stages. Because with that advantage, it translates into the mid game. Look at the number of turtles, look at the number of lot, look at the number of turrets they managed to get. From that one particular victory, they managed to translate it even further. And to be fair, for the side of the EXO, a lot of teams, once they had this amount of lead, it's easy for them to throw that lead away. But the EXO kept it very, very close between one and another, hold it down, and managed to win the game.
They did. And I think they've consistently shown this for the playoffs that they are the team that actually does this best. I think even SRG OG will have moments where they'll overheat a little bit and throw bodies when they didn't need to, but DxO recognized that this was their biggest issue during the regular season. That's why they ended up always dropping game number 2, because they overheated. They got a bit too ahead of themselves. I don't know what training they did in this 1 week, but that discipline has spread across every single game they play. And now this team is actually really scary.
And so far, Sadafa, they have a 100% win rate coming into playoffs.
Yeah.
Cleans 3-0, and right now 4-0. It could be another clean sweep, but maybe I'm talking too much, you know, ahead of time.
DX clean sweeps Homeboys. We don't just have a dark horse anymore. We have...
It's not even a horse anymore. It's not even a horse anymore. You can't consider it as a horse. This is a true contender for that upper bracket final spot. But again, as we take a deeper look at the game just now, how clean the gameplay was, right? And you did mention about how DxO managed to separate everything apart. They did not allow Homeboys to bundle up into one particular play, but they managed to spread things apart and hold it down back together with the freeze crack, with the freeze break combo, and SkyZ. He knows the timing to open up that Summon Force. Okay, no more crowd control from the opponent. Nobody can catch me off right now. There's nobody gonna come from the back end. It's a free way for me to open up my Summon Force and just, you know, deal any kind of damage to the opponent. This was a mistake by IGN.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But at this point, I don't really think there's anything Homeboys could have done anyway. DxO literally has everyone pushing into the base. So really well done by DX in game number 1. Homeboys needs to go back to the drawing board. They tried to play a comfort.
Team Liquid! He jumps in with the... That's not bad. I mean, it's just a feather news, right? It feels like it's a Marsa versus Marsa matchup, but then again, it is 30 lineup, can move very well. That's Falcons for you, TLPH. Will this be it? They're still on match point, but they are looking like they can face it. Let's go into the map.
Another epic chapter being written in the Clash of Titans Odyssey. Welcome to Game 6. Match point for the Cavalry. Yet, in case you missed it, Falcons just mounted such a dominant game in the previous bout. Leo at your service alongside Ian and Brigida. I think we've read through all the options. Like, all the heroes that are coming out, even the Alpha got scouted.
Yeah, it got scouted. Good drafts there from Coach Trevor inside of Team Falcons. And I do agree with what the panel has been saying. The double revitalized setup so far has been working in the playoff, especially if you pair it up with active heroes like the Hylos and the Baksha.
Yep. And so far, we're seeing how aggressive both of these teams want to play the mid lane, since it's been very vital so far. In the past few games we've been seeing here in the series. Oheb gets the last hit on the crab. But, oh my goodness.
I thought Ogwin was just tanky. Apparently he hurts. The shield hurts.
That was all just Ogwin.
I feel Sanji has been poked down a little bit prior to that, since they've been exchanging blows in the mid lane, but it's crazy. Owen did pretty much majority of that all alone. So now we're expecting to see how fast and efficient the rotations are going to be. This is a Farsight, this is a Baksha. There's so much things you can expect in the early game to turn out.
Yeah. And for Team Falcons, you're really hoping on or banking on the fact that KyleTzy needs a near perfect early game up against COPH, because if it comes to a stalemate or he fails to rack up kills, COPH can control neutral objectives.
But remember, TLPH also very cautious about this approach. Their lineup could just as quickly falter if KyleTzy pops off. First turtle already spawns. Falcons first to the scene. And Sanford looking for someone to latch onto. Few yet to hit level 4.
KyleTzy immediate with the Unleash the Beast. It catches Sanford there. You have to back off. Glorious Pathway already casted down, and COPH slowly trying to retreat. Sanford pops in once again and latches on to Few. Few has his own grab and spread though. Sanji with a wings by wings to relocate. KyleTzy goes in with the ultimate onto Open, and they taunt him once again. They might go for the first blood, and they will do so successfully. The young goat serves up the first kill.
One Falcon down, and the turtle dance continues. Both teams taking their time. Such is the nature of a utility jungler-centric lineup.
And if you're looking at where Falcons could have possibly gotten a trade, even Oheb, he's doing a great job. Super Marco's actually forced to hug his tower so far in the past 2 minutes of this game. So you know that Team Liquid Philippines have clearly established the lead.
Oh. Circle Eagle drop down to try and zone out Team Falcons. So far, 1 kill, 1 objective takedown, 1k gold lead for Team Liquid Philippines. And we're seeing the effect of the JP build again. Everyone seems to be where they needed to be at any given moment.
This draft was crafted to learn from the lessons of game number 5. Liquid are evolving. The Stallions are rolling with the punches and using these lessons oh so quickly. And that's why they're in the lead now. I'm waiting for Falcon's turn to maybe try that approach again in the turtle. Number 2, is that the right way to go about this, Brigitte?
Yeah, because earlier we did see that the SOD, after a while, actually didn't connect. And we're so used to seeing it connect, especially when we're talking about Super Marco, but it's been a different story for the first few minutes here in this game. So long as that keeps happening, and of course, so long as they don't get to actually take out any member of Team Liquid Philippines whenever they engage, there'll be endless ways for them to sustain and regroup for an engage.
But the thing is, TLPH good at hunting down individuals for the side of Team Falcons. Good cast of the Circle Eagle to try and zone out JP. Super Marco as Oheb got all the gold plated.
Dear God, Oheb making bank.
Oh, and wasn't this the exact same approach they were going for when they wanted to funnel everything into Oheb and just allow him to deal the damage against Team Falcons, and they're making it work in again. So much support provided by JP to Oheb.
And they may as well do just that.
Helping
secure that gold crab turtle spawning.
Purple buff Team Falcons, they know that they can and have to contest for this neutral objective. You see the 2 beefy frontliners of Team Falcons providing enough zone and vision, but still TLPH has a good hold over the turtle. Sanford jumps in with the spread. Will he latch onto FlapTzy or KyleTzy? Few with the feathered airstrike, and they're zoning and ganking up onto the middle lane. Zaman force casted down by Oheb, and KyleTzy has her back with a JP kill. Fear of Destruction connects. He's focusing his target on the Sanji, but slither away. Oheb got them on there, and Team Falcons with the turn. Sanji with a double.
Liquid was holding an ace in the hole, and they clapped back.
And that ace in the hole, isn't that the feathered airstrike? I've been looking at Sanji for some reason. My eyes were glued to Sanji. He did not release the feathered airstrike the same time you decided to release his copied feathered airstrike. And we'll be seeing that in the instant replay. It took a while for Team Liquid Philippines to feel that they could actually get an advantage in this team fight, which clearly looked like Team Falcons were at at the upper hand, but look at Sanji just repositioning himself long enough to block off the members of Team Falcons who are chasing them and allow some time for the rest of his teammates to actually fight back.
Okay, with the help of hindsight, we now know the reason why Sanji held it is because he was off of cooldown. He was holding it, waiting, and maybe that's why TLPH had to suffer some losses. But also, I think the genius of the Santan duo together, Sanford came in, flicker forward, jumped in with the glue, and that also added a little bit of damage.
Yeah, and honestly, it was a blessing in disguise, the cooldown of the Feathered Airstrike, because that in turn helped Sanji relocate when Super Marco entered in with the Spear of Destruction, so he was able to maximize the damage of the Feathered Airstrike.
Spread is a lethal thing if you let it become one. Oheb dropping the Zaman Force, taken down tier 2 in the bottom lane, so this does put the map at equilibrium.
Yep, it's pretty much equal right now. Carl TZ though, he will be denying any intentions from Super Marco and Kyle to get any more objectives away from them. And they'll have to manage that wave up top first before they actually try to set things up for this upcoming turtle, which likely Team Falcons might go for. They just can't freely leave Super Marco to do his thing, and this is what we see again and again.
And they're setting up for it. And they did the prerequisite. Send Marco away, Fuse steal the Feathered Airstrike, and then you can go. But wait, they're staying there.
But there's a different plan.
Oh, can they find him?
Oheb trying to look for Super Marco. SOD dropped down.
Super Marco by Super Marco
and a shutdown kill for Oheb.
They neutralized the coast-to-coast potential and just fought him right where he stood and fell. The bulletproof.
Read them like a book. One member
down as
TZ glorious pathway dropped down. Kyle TZ with the Unleash the Beast, but Sanford is there to zone him out. He was able to take down Sanji. Now Oheb is in the picture with his Amazon Force. Trying to look at the damage. Owen and Flap TZ quite tanky. And Sanford just zoning out Kyle TZ.
In the pit, and they're still going.
This team's nothing really happening. Up for grabs. Super Marco jumps in to praise his breath. Carl TZ secures the turtle.
Deep behind enemy dropping the Zaman Force. Owen gets a kill.
Went down. Super Marco trying to dish out the damage. He has to back off there. Sanji with the Feathered Airstrike and the signal that the clash is done.
Everyone's just too tanky. Oh, SOD nearly connected onto JP, but going back, the fights, they just last too long earlier. If you would recall how it all began, Kyle TZ, Sanford took too much of his attention. I feel you could say the same for Sanford too, and the way he's able to manage Team Falcons. But when you leave the tanky front lines of Team Falcons right in front of TLPH, especially during the downtimes of the Zaman Force, you just know it's not gonna end up anywhere.
And this puts us into perspective. Looking at these two lineups, they're both relatively ult dependent, right? But Liquid is just ever so slightly less ult dependent. They have a slightly higher uptime, and that's what made that turtle fight even more of a win.
Yeah, we're seeing what TLPH can do with this lineup. Pew had to back off, chased down by JP. Carl TZ, double dash was there. He used his own energy eruption, but still Carl TZ secures the kill.
And Falcons can only walk up to witness the murder that occurred behind their tier 2. What was Few to do? He spent everything!
Yeah, there was 2 dashes, a flicker, an IMU to try and delay the push that TLPH was doing there, but in the end, JP and Carl TZ was able to pin him down as Oheb has an orange buff. Another energy.
You have a Kalia, so maybe not the Franco, but that can still be an IG because that was done by
Let's go!
Against SRG in game number 1 just
ban
now.
Choi, ban Haya, ban Chip, ban Paul, ban Luigi, ban Fanny.
One more hero.
Homeboy, your Van Bạn đáng.
I don't think you pick your number here. Yeah, you go for mid lane, so the Zusen gets locked in. This will actually offer MelQT on this 1-1 a lot of opportunities to maybe set up the crossbow since if you get picked up by the lantern or you're locked in by Batang, then it's basically free stacks for the 1-1. The EXO picking up Baxia after the Kalea is interesting because it means that you take away one of Baxia's potential flex lanes and he is guaranteed to be in the jungle or the EXP lane.
Yeah, definitely agree with you right there. But having the Baxia as well as the Kalia, right? Taking a look at Homeboy's side as of now, I feel like the Kimi is in a very safe spot. Not many heroes can go into the back line and disturb this Kimi, and once that happens, we all know what's gonna, you know, be the result. Where Kimi is not gonna get focused, Kimi can just gun everybody down. SRT can just now just proves that Kimi's damage is very much ridiculous. Even if you're under your fountain, you cannot up-heal the damage from Kimi.
Yeah, Kimi is just so annoying. But Franco does get banned out by DX so they want to be the ones that are in the more initiative position. They don't want to be counter-engaged when Rasi goes in on this Kalea. Homeboys banning out the Faramis instantly tells you that they want the glue in the second phase. So it's up to DX if they decide they want to ban it.
It could be just a beat ban, you know. They might not want to use the glue, but it's because of the Faramis. You like waste another ban, because we do have to note that Val, a lot more EXP lane that can be used as of now. Gatot is still there, Fedrin is still there, Marsha is still there to be used by Val. It really depends on what they want to do. So we shall see what will be the main idea as of now. Is that an X-Borg? Oh yeah, it's an X-Borg.
It is an X-Borg. Okay, I mean X-Borg is a good counter to Baxia, whether in the jungle or the EXP. But the Angela ban is really interesting from the Homeboys here.
Even with the Kalia has been open, right?
Yeah, Kalea's already there. Angela doesn't have a lot of space to slot in on this draft. And I know that Angela Baxia is really annoying in pub games, but it's not something we've ever seen in rank, so I'm not too sure why that would be something you'd want to remove, especially since Matilda is still on the table. I'm particularly worried about him.
Yeah, I mean, one question or one answer that can give upon the Angela, you can still flag the Kalia on the EXP and you can still fit the Angela in the draft. But as you mentioned, I mean, in general, here in MPL MY, we don't see often enough this Angela getting picked up. Glue is gonna get picked upon. Sedafa did mention about the whole Faramis interaction, hence why they ban it out and hence why they pick it up in the fourth pick. So right now, to wrap this up and to answer the question of where does this Baxia is gonna go so far, I do feel like you still need to give an assassin hero to its Kimin. So Baxia should be in the EXP side, but question is, what kind of assassin do you want? That would answer the question, Ling.
Alright.
While the gold lane is gonna be Granger.
Alright, yeah. Granger's the safest up against the 1-1. DX Soul can be playing a slightly more late game oriented comp here with double marksman assassin jungle. That puts a lot of pressure, especially on Siska here. They actually create Prior in his lane. Baxia's okay against Glue, but it's not a obvious winning matchup.
I think you find another assassin here. Hanzo is still there. Nolan is still there, although we don't see enough of Nolan. If not any kind of tank jungle Frederick is still there. You do lose a lot.
Benedetta jungle?
Benedetta jungle?
Whoa!
Okay,
now that's different. Have we ever seen Amal Benedetta?
In MPL? No. But throughout, yes, of course.
I actually can't remember if we've seen it in history.
In history, yes. And it's funny enough, it was back in MWI. I do remember one female player used the Benedetta jungle really well.
I mean, like, it did Amal play it.
Yowie was her name, but yeah. Pretty girl, by the way. Anyways, what was the game?
I was asking a different question entirely.
My bad. My mind was caught up with Kyoe, man. If you know, you know. Very talented player, Benedetta player, but right now, we're gonna take a look at how Amal is gonna go about this.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be an interesting one. We got a duel in the land of Dawn once again. DX Soul have surpassed expectations by stealing game 1 away, and Homeboys are not about to take that sitting down. Let's find out who shall come out on top as we once again draw the curtain upon the land of Dawn.
Sedafa, I do have to tell you, this is a high risk, high reward kind of draft from Erpang and Jasmine. I don't know if we will count or not, but hey, there's a reason why I'm caster and not a coaching staff. They know better than me, so we shall see if it pays off against a lineup of frontline Siska with the Baxia. Against the backline of Stower with the Kimi as well, so...
លុតបោកងាប់បាត់អេ Storm
What man is way too aggro there. Stayed for way too long. Even Rasi forced the flicker out.
Storm
I feel like Storm could have left at any point.
He used the flicker, but I'm not sure at what instance he used the flicker right there.
សាយក៏ដែរ
He just had to walk backwards.
Oh my god.
He didn't need the flicker. He just needed to walk backwards. He was
Just
too
like
ready to
Bayern
try and finish off the wave.
Yeah, I agree.
គេលើកបោក
Paid
ទៀត
the price right there. Definitely paid a bigger price right there because those kills or that kills was given to Ivan. I think still okay. Maybe if those kills was given to Izanami, it would be much more hurtful. But right now, Rasi is gonna be more aggressive up against Izanami as well. Kimi level 4 already.
DXO likes playing the level 4 timing mid gank. This time Izanami is a little bit more prepared though. Is able to walk back, and as Lafel has put it, Zeusin is a surprisingly tanky mage.
I mean, with the brain strike at the same time and focusing on movement speed, a lot of movement speed coming in from the side of Homeboys, right? The Badang, the glue at the same time with the tenacity. Thrill has been picked up from 1-1 to provide more damage. Meanwhile, of course, Festival of Blood for Green Juice. SkyZ should be able to survive once he get a good number of kills in his own team. Right now, the Turtle is gonna get taken away by Emal, but take a look.
Comes out, this guy's inside the pit. Emal secures the turtle. Keeping a little bit too late. Has to use Tempest of Blades. And now the back is stuck. He gets Lantern pulled to the other side of the turtle pit. Bell dropping low though. He has to flicker away. Keeping jumps off the pit. But he's got a little bit of energy.
វាយក្លួតងាប់មែនងាប់ដែរ
And Keeman
ទៅមកក្លូឡើងឈាមវិញនោះ
Another grab is on top of Rasi. He
ជាប់
gets
Rasi
back
ជាប់
into
ក
the
លា
rest
មួយ
of
ទៀត
the homeboys.
ចាប់
This guy's
ទៅ
here.
វិញមកក្រោយ
What
វិញ
can you really do, sir?
ជាប់
That's
ស៊ី
a
កាវទៅលើ
kill for Emal. And Ivan even
ដាក់
finds
បោកស៊ី
Storm
កាវ
in
មួយ
a
ទៀតធ្ងន់
1v1.
This is mistake made by DXO. Not only that,
មួយស្មើណាហ្គេមនេះ
almost getting killed against his car there. Mistakes were made. Mistakes was
មួយស្មើ
definitely
ទៀត
made right there. Not only once, but
5
from
ហ្គេម
the get-go, right? We've seen mistake from
5
Storm,
ហ្គេម
you know, getting a kill. We've seen mistakes as
ជាប់
well
មួយតូ
from Kimi not having enough energy to move even forward. But right now, Emal stealing away that buff
ចាប់ជើង
immediately.
Direction falls cancelled with the eye for an eye.
Một bên
Keeman
nữa,
gonna
một
get
bên nữa.
pushed backwards by Ivan, but Emal will
Sing,
still fall to
sing.
Storm. And now the Tempest
Ivan.
Blaze knocks up Ivan. Can he be taken
Man,
down?
man,
No, they
slow.
actually aren't able to follow up, and the Purify comes out from Izanami, so the Tsunami Bomb does not connect. And now Keeman is
my
stuck
God.
again.
ឃើញ fail 2 ដងបាត់ហើយទៅចូលមកគេទៅអស់ឈាមមកខ្លួនឯង
A
ទៅ
lot of movements based
Top.
on the
But,
greediness
toxic.
of their own players right now. Kimin twice, not only once, but
លើក
twice.
បោកមកក្រោយវិញលើក
Got
បោកមួយទៀត
hit more from his own greed right there. He's just walked away, knowing that those
Izanami
kills
ni
could not be gotten by
Susi na
himself.
Novo.
Not having enough itemization, not having any kills in the hand at the same time. Yes, I do understand you want to try to snowball, get one kill, but hey, kill
Lên
did
bị
not
đó
get,
là
but
Kimin
you
này.
got killed at the same time. So
ពី
again,
ដងពីដង
Kimin, be more patient. Get your first item first, and then you try to start find some kills. You have a lot of room to work with. You have Rasi using the Kalia. You have Storm who has good amount of crowd controls. You just need to
Lấy phi
follow
số
up.
nữa.
But right now, Homeboys are reaping the benefits from the mistakes of the EXO.
I feel like we have too many
Sorry.
junglers on Ling who just feel like they can start getting kills early to get the snowball going, but you have to know that if it doesn't work out, it is a very high risk, high reward situation. The EXO, again, are playing the more late game lineup. They just needed to wait and play it safe, and now Homeboys have picked up another turtle, and they are really making their presence known. They're now really just contesting buffs in the jungle too.
I mean, a 2.2k goal lead in the 4th
លីង
minute.
មានអារម្មណ៍ថាលីងទៅយក
As we take a
ប្លូ
look
បង
at the
បងមក
levels,
ទៀតដែរ
there's
បង
not
បង
much of a
បិនិត
difference. Emma level 8, Meanwhile, level 6. Okay, I
Guys,
back
ooh,
in.
nice
A
flicker.
Kalia.
Rasi comes in, fist crack used by
Đã,
Ivan
thì
to make sure he's not grabbed with the Tsunami Slam. Lantern Flare picks up Siska.
Mày mũi
Keeman
phố.
comes in, he's not able to secure his purple buff. And
Đòi
Emal
skill
just
chứ.
dashes away. Keeman, this time
chạm
gonna make
bên này
sure
cho
not
cái-
to
rồi
throw
cái chạm
away
bên này
his
thì-
life, but the damage really starting to add up.
I mean, Kimin right now is in
Anh
the
bên
world
đây
of
chạm bên này
trouble,
thì bên này
but
thủ lên
the
cho em
damage
á.
is not there as of yet for Kimin.
Chạm
At the
khô
same
mũi.
time, he is not that
Bắt cò, mũi
tanky
chỉ co
enough.
mũi
He's very much squishy.
Thiệt.
Even with
chỉ
Bell
thế.
alone can zone him out
Alone là nói này.
immediately. So they also do have to play for time a bit. At least get some form of item for Kimin and also SkyZ. Homeboys right now, like I said, like I mentioned, they are ripping off the
Bên này
benefits
được
of
thêm
the
lươn
mistakes
nhàng
from
ngon,
the
rồi
EXO.
bay
So
bên
what
này.
they need to do now is just hold on to that lead extend it even further, maybe try to get one objective.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing because they've jumped on 2 members. Storm gonna be picked up and gone straight away by a 4-man gank in the mid lane. The mid tier 1 will fall, and Siska realizing I really should not be here right now. Gonna get grab, pulled back into crossbow of Tang. That should be a free kill for the homeboys.
Another free kill for homeboys. Another gold lead right now, 3.3k gold lead. Kimin is trying his level best to split push on this bot side, but you know, every little effort counts. I suppose the DXO SkyZ just now managed to take away the top turret while the mid turret of DXO was taken care of. DXO right now, less mistakes. It's just so unfortunate that a lot of mistakes that was happening in the early stages causes them to somehow not controlling the game early on. But to be fair, homeboys capitalized those mistakes perfectly. They got a kill, they extend their lead, and right now, I would like to say it's homeboys game to lose.
I do think so as well. Siska comes in, Ivan misses the fist break, but will still be able to push Storm back. That's killing spree on top of the Kimmy. Siska gonna be getting pulled back once again. He is pretty tanky. Electrifying the comes out with the better drive with Tsunami Slam, pulls Amal into the tower. Amal tries to escape, but Kimmy finally finishes him off. Ivan picks up the mega kill. Rasi gonna go down. 3 members of the EXO gonna be sacrificed, but the 2 main cores still live.
It's super hard right now for the side of DXO.
Homeboy by
skirmish just now. A lot of things that happened, but Homeboy still stood strong, still standing strong, alive with a couple of members on their own side. The only man went down was Amal, who we all know lack mobility. Once he gets caught out, it's very difficult for him to be able to walk back safely. At the same time, DXO, take a look at the itemization, Skypus and also Hunter Strike for Granger should be able to farm up well right now. Meanwhile, in the side of Kimin, still a long way to go.
Yeah, DXL are notably behind in items and in levels as well. Amal, 2 full levels up on Kimin. This Benedetta jungle was definitely something that DXL were not prepared for. This is one of those secret strategies that the homeboys have been holding on to and we considered might be a possibility, and it is certainly working out right now. Even Ivan on the Ropadang is 4-0-6. He has been setting up really well against the X.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of this lead that was thrown by... Oh, hold on, homeboys.
Slam forces the Purify from LQT, and he's just gonna run forward. Picks up the crossbow tank stacks, forces the flicker on Stone. Siska still in the backline. Kimin joining the fight a bit late. The fist rate comes out, forcing out the Tempest Blaze as well. The XO not able to find anything, and homeboys coming out on top.
Homeboys coming out on top. Well executed gameplay right there. Losing out, especially the life of their team members, and immediately on the 8-minute mark, knowing that it's gonna take some kind of quite some time for them to be able to catch this lock. So they managed to win immediately and very quickly. Right now, homeboys are gonna do what they do best: just slow push, allow the lot to spawn, and then they try to get all of the outer turrets first, and then maybe they focus on the inhibs.
This is a very comfortable position for the homeboys right here, and exactly the kind of space they were trying to create. Kimin in some trouble. Amal chasing him down, he runs into MelQT. Tempest Blaze comes out, I'm not sure if he can escape. MelQT punishes Kimin.
We have a game 3 in hand to the fight. I feel like this is set in stone already. Game set match for the side of homeboys. Nothing much DSO can do. I mean, even SkyZ have not gotten any Sky Piercer stacks. In terms of high ground defense, the fact that Kimin went down, you do have to rely on SkyZ as of now. And I feel like with just the Death Sonata shot, they managed to do that. They managed to protect the limited turret for the first wave. The second wave is going to come immediately.
The early game decisions from DXO really hitting hard now. Homeboys is not a team you can allow to get a lead, and now that they've managed to find that, this is just back to their regular season shenanigans all over again. DX trying to preserve their holy defenses. Bell flickers in, maybe a bit too deep, but forces the dash backwards by SkyZ. Homeboy is just going to commit resources to make sure they get that mid inhibitor. And with another wave pushing down bottom, they're looking for another tower as well. Ivan walking in front, Tsunami Slam pulls one back. Bell going to be melted away, but the electrified will come on the rip of DXO. Rasi will fall, cross rotate comes down. LQT takes over the skies. There's going to be a Tempest Blades comes out. Kimin still alive. But DXO no longer have their frontliners.
Yeah, no longer have their frontliners. Meanwhile, Homeboy still have another set of minion wave. Let's storm the with Ivan, with Izarami at the same time. But now QT is lacking a bit of damage, but still managed to get that turret away. Under safe control. Lead for the side of Homeboys. 13 kill up against 3 right now. This is a beating by Homeboys.
It's a very one-sided massacre right now, and we can see that they're itemizing well too. Amal actually going for more of a semi-tank build with the Thunderbelt and then the Blade Armor, even going Dreadnought War Axe, the only damage item that he has. So he is still playing a little bit more of a utility role, just being able to match up in macro against Kimin as well. While Homeboys are heavily in the lead, this is now a very crucial timing. They gotta make sure to keep their composure about them, because DX Seoul have been able to come back from situations like this before.
I do agree with you right there, because once coming into the mid stage, there are a few slots left for both of these players of their own teams respectively to be able to finish up all a full set of items. Meanwhile, the closest one, I feel like it's Green Shoe right now. 4 items being picked up already. There is Hunter Strike, Skybracer, Malefic Roar, and of course Sea Helmet. One more item to complete the set of item. Maybe a Winter Crown, maybe a Wind of Nature. It really depends on what he wants. If there's full on damage, go for damage. If he wants for utility, he can do that as well.
They found SkyZ. He wasn't able to recall in time. This is now a really bad position for but they cannot. Unstoppable streak for MLQT. Homeboys have found the prime target.
I think Dika waited that a little bit. Just comes in on the mid side just so that SkyZ won't have enough time to respond, to be able to protect the crystal right now. So Homeboys have a 19 seconds time window.
5v4 defense. Tsunami Slam gonna pull Ivan backwards. Rasi very low on HP. Kimin and Siska trying to hold the front, but Tempest Blades coming out, but the monster kill goes for MLQT and the double kill. Fires down the end zone. The Lord collects with the crystal, and Homeboys have taken it. It is now 1-1. The Homeboys are not ready to let this go without a fight.
Game, set, and match. 1-1 right now. Homeboys managed to tie the game efficiently with a good draft. I can't lie, but
Energy eruption dropped it down by Carl Teasy. Look at the feathered air strike. Appraiser's Wrath. Is it going to connect though? Flap Teasy answers back with a glorious pathway. Here comes Carl Teasy with the Unleash the Beast. They're playing under the turret, but everyone's still tanking. Sanford dropped down into the base of Team Falcons. And that was a trade for the Falcons.
That was such a beautiful energy eruption into the feathered airstrike, into the Zaman Force from Team Liquid Philippines. But exactly as you mentioned, Team Falcons, they're just too tanky, and that's probably one of the biggest things they can bank on in this game. Out-sustaining Team Liquid Philippines, especially if they're able to do that, taking out Sanford, because he's such a big piece of how Team Liquid Philippines is able to hold everything together.
So between the and the chunkier lineup, it comes down to decision making. Can Liquid take out the key targets before Falcons can make up for their lack of damage?
Now
we'll find out in the lower pit.
Gonna try and use the Lord as bait up against Team Falcons. Is Super Marco pushing the bottom lane. Flap Teasy already jumped down the glorious pathway. SOD is going to connect. Teasy secure the Lord. Kyle Teasy got it bursted down. No trades for Team Falcons, but Super Marco working on the inhibitor down bottom.
Nothing personal, kid. Marco fails. Oh my lord, the minion was not in the right spot.
Now he has to back off and be present in the defense of a lifetime for Team Falcons. Lord sieging in the middle lane for TLPH.
Every single member of Falcons matters right now. Kyle Teasy still absent. Lord smashes into mid, top lane taken down.
Everyone crashing down. Marco still able to free him. He has two frontliners that can soak up the damage. Statue with a feathered airstrike. And even the turret already bursted down. Oh, it falls down as well. TLPH still have 5 cavalry. Flap Teasy trying to back off. Calcizi jumps in for the Elixir Beast. SOD for Super Marco. They shut down OM. A double for Calcizi. He wants to make it three. Sanji got left behind. And a 3-kill sweep for Team Falcons.
Liquid Philippines overextending, over-welcoming their stay, gets punished hard.
And what did we say about finding key targets before Team Falcons gets to go or gets to show all that sustain they have, gets to fight back, gets to buy enough time for Kyle Teasy to get back. And that's exactly what happened, because what they were able to take earlier were Flap and Ogwen, and I don't think those are the best targets.
Now with that clash, Super Marco looking at the Trinity build and the Rose Gold Meteor. So in terms of damage department, you know, Super Marco can do super mat things once again. TLPH has to respect the split push that can come from Super Marco.
All right, let's take a look back at that moment inside Falcons' base. Liquid smelt blood in the water. They could have sworn the game was going to end. But here's the key. They took their eyes off of Marco. They let Kyle Teasy get to them.
Yeah, the key is Kyle Teasy. Perfect casting of the Unleash the Beast, the flash step set up perfectly. Yeah. And all throughout that, they forgot the SOD from Super Marco.
Yeah. They burned so much too earlier. Sanford went in for the flicker already, but was pushed back. So now they get to delay the game a bit more, and Super Marco is just able to proceed with pressuring the map as well up against Team Liquid Philippines. Now checking out the items. Currently, few also already picked up the Lightning Truncheon. It seems like they're trying to invest much more in the damage that can come out later on, since they know and acknowledge the way they're lacking so far. But if you look at Super Marco, he's just one item away from completing his build.
Yeah. Eventually we'll reach the point where economy doesn't matter anymore. It's all about positioning.
Oh my goodness.
For Falcons, that's a long way out.
Yeah.
Liquid, though, has room to juggle. They have to watch out for the very specific...
Oh, Sanji again?
Oh.
This is the exact same spot where Sanji was able to burst out the Clint of Super Marco earlier in the series.
I don't think Marco's gonna fall for it again, but this is JP and OM going for the gang. And Marco smells something's fishy.
They know.
They know.
Okay. Wait. A lot of vision provided there for Team Falcons with one shield unity from Ogwen.
Lord, started up by TLPH, approaching a fourth of its health. A third, soft reset, Flap Teasy, aware of the situation, calling the rest of Falcons in. Watch out for Marco, he has an SOD!
SOD is going to be crucial, it's going to connect, but is he going to cast it though? Flap Teasy dropped down the glorious pathway already. Teasy secures the Lord. The trying to go for the kills. Fueling better to airstrike with the first man. Flap Teasy, a double for the MVP. They want to make it 3. Super Marco preoccupied with Sanji, but he was able to flick around. And look at the base. A triple for OM. Super Marco with Sanji kill. And Few is here to delay. But the minion doesn't do it. CLPH perfect chapter ends. And this historic rivalry, Team Liquid Philippines, a step closer.
Is going to MSC.
Going straight to the grand finals, punching their ticket to MSC. And AWC 25.
Sau the last man standing សាររូបមិនតែកាក់ផ្លាស់តែចាញ់ណាវាទី3បានលើអិននេះនោះបើជើងអត់តែម្ដងបាទញ៉ាទីឈីហ្នឹងហើយគាត់មានអាទីឈីតានេះគាត់ស្វិតធូចឹងទៅស្វិតធូចឹងទៅហូតទៅទេព្រោះមានអាទីឈីតាកុំមកហ្នឹងហូឡតហ្នឹងមកហ្នឹងបាទបើតតបអាចដាច់ T3 ខាងលើណាជាមួយសមាជិករបស់ Team TDN អូបើណា Heavenly ញ៉ាំជឿទីជាមួយ Heavenly មួយស្មើ No គេចាញ់វាយអត់ហ៊ានទេឡើយទៅឬក៏អត់មកឲ្យពីខាងក្រោយងាកមើលជាមួយនឹងគីឡូបាត់ម៉ូថលដេញវាយណាគេចេះដេញវាយអ្នកណាគេដេញវាយជាមួយណាត់សូមានជាមួយនឹងម៉ូថលលោត Ultimate ដេញយកខាងក្រោយវិញយកតែម្ដងជាមួយនឹងការដេញវាយលើ Crimson Flicker តថយយកតែម្ដងណាត់ស្រ័យក៏មានម៉ូថលដេញមកដែរបាត់ដោមិនមកតែដាច់ជាមួយនឹងហ៊ីបាត់ហើយងាកមើលញ៉ាឈើទេ Shot ជាមួយនឹង Crimson ដល់អ្នកដល់ជាណាត់សូ3រ៉ូបាត់ហើយចាំមកធីម TDN មានរឿងអីចេះ TDN មួយលើកដៃកលែងមួយសាន13អ្នកឯងកំលោបលូនពេកបាទដាច់ដល់តែ3នាក់នេះគ្នា Team Fight មិញគឺយកដល់នេះគ្នានៅពេទ្យដែល គាត់គិតទៅដល់មនុស្សនេះថាផ្ទះគឺអត់មានគេដែលអាចទុកហើយមកទីបាយបានលឿនតែម្ដងចឹងតែគាត់
ម៉ៃបងម៉ៃបង
គឺគេ
Caster
បាយយកមកចឹងហើយ
គាត់ទៅស្ដាប់ទៅលើ
គោលលើតែសកម្មក្នុងទីបាយ
អាយ៉ាណាត់ត្រៃដាច់ធុងហ្គាបាត់ហើយអត់មានជាមួយម៉ូថទេណាត់ត្រៃធួនខុសអូយមិនមកធួនត្រូវអាចបាត់បង់ជីវិតទៀតណាត់ត្រៃមួយបាទ
គប់អាទីយក
ណាមែនជាមួយ MP ធួននៅផ្លូវ Midland អាចមានការ defend ជាប់ដូចគ្នាមូស្កៅញ៉ាទូធីឈឺ
បងឯងមានដាច់សេ
ញ៉ាទូធីទៅលើ 10000 ជាងតែឯងនេះ
អត់ដាច់ផងមានដាច់នេះ
បាទចារីយ៉ាងម៉េចហ្នឹងគឺជាការបន្ថយមែនតើដែលអត់មាន damage Golan ហើយក៏នៅពីចាំវាយគេទេនៅពេលដែលដឹងថា Golan យើងបើកមុខវាយជាមួយនៅផ្លូវលើហើយគឺគេដែលបើកទីហ្វាយតែគាត់នៅចង់វាយគេផ្លែទៀតដាច់ដល់3គ្នា
ណាសូទប់ damage ញ៉ាំសុធាតបឯណាសូមួយបើកដាអុកដេញវាយញ៉ាំសុធាចាប់ចូលហ្វាយដកថយធ្វើមិនដឹងយកតែម្ដងជាមួយនឹងការ flicker ទៅខាងក្រោយផុតដែរផុតរ៉េ
បងក្រោយ
ខៃតែជាមួយនឹងការ defend ផ្ទះមើលអាច defend ជាប់ដែរមួយយ៉ាងណាជាមួយនឹង team TDN យ៉ាងណាមិនជាមួយ team ខាងក្រោយក៏មានការ defend ជាប់
គ្នាទេចឹងមកសូវមានមើល
បាទប៉ុន្តែសាច់ហ្គេមរៀងត្រុតដែរដោយសារតែដាច់ 3K ហើយ 3K នោះគឺសំនោះតែមិនតន់អី
ខ្ញុំ Wi-Fi
បាទគ្នាបាទចាំមើលនឹងហ្គេមនឹងចេញពីគេទៀតព្រោះដោយសារបាញ់ហ្នឹងគឺជាការស្ដាប់ចិត្តមួយធ្ងន់ដែរដោយសារតែនៅពេលដែលនឹកដល់ hero ទៅផ្ទះ
មើលបាទ
អត់មានតែគេអាចទៅឲ្យមកវិញលឿនហើយយក hero ទៅក៏បាយ team fight ហើយគាត់នៅឈប់វាយមួយគេមក flat ទៀតអូលើបជើងយកមកណៃក៏ព្រោះដោយសារ hero Moscow game នេះក៏ spy flick ដូចបជើងតែម្ដងបាទចាំមានជាមួយដើរភ្លើងទប់ឆ្ងាយក៏ដូចជាដើរខ្មៅហើយក៏សន្ស័យ
អូមួយ
សៀបើតែចេះ
ទៅទីបោកហើយដាច់ត្រៃលេងសាច់បាត់
នេះបាទដាច់
អូបាក់អាមេតមុនណាទូសាំងបាត់ហើយមកគីឡូគ្រាន់តែជាការបែបឆោតតែម្ដងនិយាយទៅធីម TNN នៅក្នុងហ្គេមនេះមានតែសញ្ញានៃការទប់ផ្ទះទេបើសិនជាគាត់ហ៊ានចេញគេនឹងបើក start team fight ទៀតព្រោះឥឡូវគេកំពុងតែ
អីបងកំពុង live អត់អី
គាត់មាន damage គ្រប់គ្រាន់ក្នុងការ start team fight គាត់វាយបាក់
live កំពុង live មួយថ្ងៃអត់អីបង
សយណាហ្គេមចុងក្រោយនេះទីណាគេមាន chip ធ្វើឲ្យគ្នាចុះ team fight បានគេមាន Moscow ធ្វើឲ្យចុះ team fight បានយើងដាច់លើមិនសុំងប់គាត់ទៀត
អង្គុយ live ថ្ងៃចាំ2ម៉ោង
បើឡោចេញលើណាក៏អាចនៅមានកន្លានៅក្នុងការគ្រប់ផងដើរមកវាយឡងផងឥឡូវឡចេញក្រោមទៀតឥឡូវស្វ័យមើលតិចទៀត Moscow បុកលើcòn là Moscow có bao tí có cả tí chip cho ban được cái này nè hỏi để nè top lên với Moscow mua mà bóng nhạc chưa thi vài ngọc tiền
sao
đi rồi bay môi tra để nhà mày chăng tra đi rất có tra đặc biệt lên được ma tiền này ta còn là anh em là đây là bọn anh này mình trong lại tên là cái vai sự sụp pixel hỏi roster bọn tôi nữa từ sắt là hai phinh có hai đi kia còn ta tập bắt chuột như thế Oh my G
ធ្វើមកមិញគេឡងបាច់បាទអត់បានមើលទេបងអត់ហេអត់អីមិន
ចឹងស្ថានភាពដូចយើងស្ងប់ស្ងាត់បន្តិចដែរភ្លាមចាំមើលតើចូល contest lot នេះបានដែរមួយយ៉ាងណាពី Natural បាទឲ្យប្រក
បាទអត់យល់នោះទេអូចែកជាមួយនឹង Twilight ហ្មងទៅไปគេណាសុំបណ្ដាយហេតុទៅមកផោកគេមិនសិនបាទយ៉ាសាយ៉ាដល់នេះគ្នាបាទមានការវាយឡោបដានេះខ្លួនឯងឈីបណាម៉ូសើគេអោកនេះតែម្ដងម៉ូស្កា
ចាំជួយ share នេះអូខេជួយ share មក
ម៉ូស្កាតាមលើបាននេះអោកគ្នាបាត់
គេមានអារម្មណ៍គេផោកគេ live 10បែកមើលច្បាស់
ណាត់ណាយមួយអាចបែកក្នុងហ្គេមណាត់ណាយមួយសិនកំលេងសើអាចនៅខាងលើបាទអារ៉ាទៀតចេញមកគឺគេមកចាប់មកគីឡូបើគាត់ថអញវាយយកតែមក
តាមមួយពោ
ចាប់លោតបានមេខោបាក់គ្នាក្តៅអុកក្បាក់ចេញគេមកតែគេបែក
បោកពីរនេះ
ទៅទាំងក្តៅអុកអត់ទាំងអីទាំងអស់យកតែម្ដងភ្លាមតែញ៉ាំគឺគេបាត់មក
គេលើកបោកចាប់ជាប់បីនេះ
តែគេមើលជាមួយណាហ៊ីយ៉ុនយកតឡតទេដកថយសិនចំហ៊ីឡុនយកឡតតែគ្នាគាត់វាយធីមហ្វៃអត់យល់ដែរមានអីទេអិនដេកគេក្នុងហ្គេមនេះណាត់រ៉ៃដេកដុតទាំងអស់យកតែម្ដងដោយសារអាមានម៉ូថអត់ទេមានម៉ូថបាច់ម៉ូថកាត់មកមានសាំងទៀតអត់ខ្វល់ទេជាមួយនឹងណាត់រ៉ៃ
អូក្តៅចាត់ពេទៅមកថតទៅផ្ទះល្អជាងជុំគឹមសិនជុំចាយទៅហ្នឹងចឹង
អីខេមិនលីអីអូកាញ់តម្រងការចង់អែតទេ
តែពេលតែអត់មានញ៉ាំយូទី
អែតមិនកើត
អូមានញ៉ាំយូទីបងមិនបានដែរទេ
អេចង់អែតមិនចេញ3គេមានមេតបញ៉ាំយូទីកើត
ជាប់តាមមួយពោទឹកកកមួយ
ย้อนអូមានកកញ៉ាសុធីមកញ៉ាសុធីមកឬមកអត់មកទេញ៉ាในการទុកផ្ទះ
ទៅឡត
ឡតតែវាយតែផ្ទះ
គេដើរទៅផ្ទះគេដើរទៅផ្ទះគេដើរទៅផ្ទះ
អូយអាយច្បាស់ទៅផ្ទះបាទអើយមកចឹងជួយឡើងស្គាល់ចិត្តបាទឥឡូវគេលេងវាយតែចាប់បានជាមួយនឹងគេវាយវិញមិនអ្នកមកវិញដូចគ្នាចឹងគេវាយវិញមិន3ទល់នឹងស្មាចាំមើលអញបុកចូល
ចាប់ស្រីមិនដែរ
មិនញ៉ាសុធីកត់មកអីច្បាស់ខាងឯង
ណាក៏ចូល5 អាទីឈីបគេជាអាទីឈីបមក
យ៉ាបាក់មកថត
មកដែរ
ឲ្យជាមួយនឹង
លើកបោកធំគេមក
ការលើកតែណាត់ស្រ័យអត់មានហ្គាទេអត់មានម៉ូតូទេភ្លាម
រង
ញ៉ាសុធីកុំញ៉ាសុធីយកតែបាយខ្ញុំបាយទាំងញ៉ាសុធី Heavenly ក្រៅតែបាយ1 4 1 5យកមកតែញ៉ាសុធីបាយតែដាច់ទេបាទ
វាផ្ទះ
បានលើអិនដេកហេ
បាទផ្ទះហើយ
Teams have been able to find success on the red side of the draft.
មួយស្
Both
មា
the
រ
wins so
ហើយ
far have been second pick. So now that Homeboys is back on first pick side, we'll see if they're able to adjust the way that they draft. With the Baxia first pick, they'll actually leave the Phobius open for the side of DXS. This is a hero that has been banned out in the first phase in both games so far and has had a very high consistent win rate across the regular season of MPL and Y.
Phobius. This is the first Phobius of the day. That is very surprising because throughout the games previously and of course this game Phobius was banned out. So being given towards the hands of the Exol, I would like to see can they capitalize on this very strong hero with the help of SkyZ using that Harith later on.
Phobius, very safe red side opening and a very powerful one as well because both these heroes will usually be able to earn lane priority, and Harith just scales to become a ridiculous DPS source towards the later stages. Homeboys now gonna need to think about how they want to approach this. The Kimi is open and they can pair it up with Baxia, but I'm not sure if it's enough control to deal with the heroes that have been locked in.
Yeah, good question. Very good question right there. And I don't think the Homeboys want to pick up a Farsa because I think that is a very easy target for the Harith to just open up the Zaman Force and eliminate the Farsa immediately. Hence why they opt to go for the Masha and also the Kimi. So with Kimi in hand, are they going to go a Franco-Kimi combination because they can flux the Voxel to the jungle right now?
Franco, oh, the X-Borg! Locked in early by DXS. I think that is a very smart decision. There's already a Masha and a Baxia to deal with. This already does very good for you. Not to mention, revealing the Masha this early is not something you usually see the Homeboys do. I get the feeling they're trying to use this to divert. There's a chance that they're still trying to set up for a Fredrin jungle Baxia roam situation instead. And if that is the case, this X-Borg already will naturally answer it.
Yeah. Definitely will answer those kind of questions in mind. But right now, the side of the Exol should ban out one hero right now. Are they gonna ban the marksman? Oh, they ban out the Louis even when there is the Kimi already. So maybe afraid of the Kimi flexing onwards to the gold lane, and of course the prowess of Louis, diversion from any kind of angles, providing damaging, very consistent. And of course, a little bit of crowd control as well.
Homeboys has won games by diversioning the Masha into the backline. So I think that's what DXOL is afraid of in particular. They do not want the Thunderclap being sent to the Harith, because that is actually a really good solution for dealing with SkyZ on this hero. The XS definitely have done their research. Definitely thought about things properly. The possibility of the Fredrin coming in for the Homeboys does still exist. But DX might be willing to let it through because they already have the export.
Yeah, the Jawhead gets banned out as well. Another pick-off potential that can provide the Exol, can provide the Exol some sort of engagement as well with the Harith. So not wanting to see the banned out immediately right now. They're not focusing too much on the gold lane, right? They are, banning out utilities, other lanes heroes right now. So gold lane heroes is still viable. I mean, makes sense for the EXO, maybe not to ban. No, maybe Homeboys doesn't need to ban it out because they already seen the Harith. So maybe the EXO can somehow ban out one gold lane Ezreal, or are they gonna ban out a Zushin here?
I don't think you need the
Angela.
Okay, so they are particularly worried about the Angela-Baxia combination, which I guess is understandable. The EXO also respects the fact that Homeboys is a snowball team. If they're able to get an early lead, which Baxia Angela almost will get anytime, then it makes the game very difficult. But I'm not too sure if it's really something that Homeboys would be considering a lot of the time. So let's see.
It's very, very troublesome for me to think about. It's like so many ways to go about it, right? If they want to ban out another kind of utility hero, a Chow maybe. If they really want to ban out another set of crowd control or Tigral or Gatot. Oh, makes sense. Make perfect sense because Sarasi used that yesterday and won the game.
Okay, this is interesting. If Homeboys was playing Baxia in the jungle, they wouldn't actually need to ban Khalid. I already had a feeling that this was probably not Baxia jungle, even though they revealed the Masha, but I still thought it was going to be a tank jungle, which can handle Khalid pretty okay. If they're getting rid of this hero, it makes me think that Homeboys might actually want to play Assassin jungle with Masha side lane, which is not something they've tried before.
Yeah, definitely true. The Baxia as a rope, Marsha as the experience, and they bring up something like a Ling that is still viable to play, a Suyo or Joy is banned out. So yeah, Assassin is still for Imal, but Matilda gets picked up by Little. You add on another layer of protection for the Harith, for the exploit at the same time. So right now, Homeboys, what do they respond? Or question is, how do they respond right now? They need their jungler. Most likely, they need maybe also their own gold lane. Granger is still there once again to be picked up, so we shall see what will be the idea from Homeboys.
Do they want to Benedetta again, I wonder? They go for the Valentina, so this... Oh! Well, now that's been a while there. The Nolan getting locked in. Amal trying to increase his personal unique hero pool count today. This means Kimmy is gold.
Vô vào lên máu tại phải cắt cầm oi lên luôn vô luôn cắt máu rồi kê vô kê bị copy á.
Overall a very good draft, covers a lot of major stuff, magic, physical attack, utility at the same time, and front line. Meanwhile the EXO last pick, they need to pick up their own gold lane. Yeah, probably not too sure jungle right now.
They're mid.
Oh yeah, they're mid, correct. And that will be the Jushin Maltida Xbox Hari.
It's alright. I think the EXO's comp is okay, but the damage is a little bit on the slower side and really depends on Export knocking down the Homeboys. So for the Homeboys, their gameplay this game is going to be hit hard, hit fast, and then leave. It is very much an in and out tactic composition. If they're able to flank the backline, pick them off before all the DPS over time for the Export and Zusin kicks in, they have a really good lead.
Yeah, I do agree with you right there, but I am afraid of that damaging from the side of the EXO. You did mention about it's quite slow. That is what I'm worried about, because Homeboys, it's fast. You have the Thunderclap, you have the Fractured as well, that can immediately dish out the damage from the side of Homeboys.
Alright, let's get things going. It's game number 3 in our upper bracket semi-finals between DXOL and Homeboys. Ladies and gentlemen, the score is currently 1-1. Let's see who will eke out the momentum and get things started with a lead in this game.
This could be the difference makers, Dafa. Whoever wins this game have a big potential, a big momentum booster coming into game number 4 later on. So we shall see who will definitely reap the benefits as we take a look on Rasi right now. Just accompanying Amal, forcing out the retribution and already did. So maybe he can look into the Little Wanderer to try to win that for the Xbox.
Thing is, even though Amal got slowed down quite a bit by Rasi, Ivan was helping leash the second buff. So he actually ends up hitting level 3 before Keemin. That's a very important thing, because DXO has revealed a light going for the level 4 mid lane gank. This means Amal outpaces him.
Yeah, with the Nathan as well. Sorry, with the Nolan as well, definitely it's gonna out-level, gonna farm up really fast. But we take a look at the emblem. Is there any engagement? Okay, nope. In terms of emblem, full on tankiness for Ivan to withstand a good amount of damage with the revitalize at the same time. Other than that, Kimi with the trail, Harith with the mystery shop. Just wants to farm up fast, Matilda with the tenacity, so a good amount of defensive capability as well with the Matilda and the Phobias having full tenacity.
Yeah, nothing too unusual in terms of the emblem choices. I do wonder about this Valentina pickup though. Not too sure which ultimate Izanami is going to be working with a lot of time. Probably has Insanity, but I'm not actually that sure. This is not a game you'd usually see Valentina picked into.
I think you can still steal the Crimson Beacon, I suppose, be able to reposition yourself in the team fight. But then again, you're a Valentina. You don't want to stay long in terms of in the team fights. You want to dash in, and go back out. Question. Not too sure what ultimate the Valentina is going to steal. Possibility for the Circling Eagle, so we shall see. Right now, the Turtle Dance for the first turtle has begun right now. Both goal leaders are not going to partake in this dance, so it's going to be
Keemin going to be the first one to hit level 5, and instantly Homeboy tries to engage. Last Insanity going to be stolen by Izanami. Not actually doing that much damage. Last Insanity in return from Keemin, but that means he no longer has his Viraga armor. Ziska still holding up the front line with the Infernal Pursuit, surviving a good while, but Amal comes in, picks up the first blood, but Ivan going to get picked up in return. Turtle taken away by the Nolan. Amal now looking to retreat. He's lost Izanami as well. It's going to be a 2-for-1 trade, but Homeboys walk out with the Turtle.
Nolan một plate mình đến từ vô ban tầm blue ban tầm red hãy cho một may với cái bài cái lơ mà là bài chà Nolan dột tì rồi chẳng có rồi mà cái tiền
very efficient again.
Bỏ lên Nolan
Look at Amal right now, level 7. Meanwhile, Kimin on the Xbox jungle is only level 5. So the difference in terms of mobility is hurting Kimin a lot.
We know for sure that Nolan will clear jungle. Oh my goodness, the fracture. Nearly one-shots Storm. If he was any other mage, he would have probably died right there. But it's really nice to see this hero back again. It's been such a long time.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you right there. I mean, the Nolan, we know that the capability, the farming capability, the movement as well, and the fracture, the ability to solo kill anybody right now. Kimin,
three-man gank in the mid lane. Circling Eagle comes out. The blue last Insanity stolen by Izanami. He wants to blow up Kimin, but he's not quite close enough. He cannot follow. That means he's going to try and flicker away, but Storm is picking it up with the lantern. Ivan, there's not really much he can do here. Here comes this guy. Infernal Pursuit follows him. And Izanami goes down.
They used the last Insanity to get a kill, but unfortunately enough, he got killed by the Infernal Pursuit from the Phobias. Stolen the last Insanity, but then again, as we mentioned,
he needed to commit.
Yeah, he was already deep in right there, so there was no way for him to just half-cook effort trying to get a kill once to Kimin. But right now, well, still okay, still have 2 layers of health left.
Alright, so a good start. Oh my god! If not for the Matilda, Storm would have died. If not for the shield coming in. Where did you come from? Thunderclap! Just when we thought Sissy got out and he picks up the double! Snipes Rasi out of the air! And they get the turtle!
What was that? How and
where
did he came from all the way from Indonesia? With the flicker, the thunderclap, and not getting a single kill, but a double kill at the same time. The buff got stolen, if I'm not mistaken.
It did.
Yeah.
Homeboys are playing hard and fast, and that's exactly what I said they needed to do against this composition. The XO picked up the X-Borg in advance, expecting another tank jungle to come out of the Homeboys, but they were prepared for it. This Nolan is outpacing Keemin by several leagues, and there's not a lot he can do about it.
Yeah, nothing that they can do about it themselves.
ตีสตาร์เลนซ้าย
kills on that mid side.
แล้วซ้อม
That is
ปีใหญ่ทับ
a
ใช่ไหม
huge
มาหา
difference maker because right now he can withstand up really well up against Siska in terms of level, in terms of lane control at the same time. But Kimin, this Xbox pick so far from minute number 1 up until minute number 6 is not.
No land well top.
It's tough for me to say, but it's not providing much benefits for the side of DXO. Because if Homeboys go aggressive, there's nothing much you can do. You just have to wait for all of these ultimates and then you can counter engage back. But then again,
why is it tough for you to say? I think it's the truth.
Yeah, but
it's true.
It's true.
He can't do anything.
But maybe there is still some kind of chance because we're still early in the game, so we have to see what can they counter react back, because even with the last Insanity, right, due to the sheer mobility of Homeboys, they can avoid it very easily at the same time.
Exactly, that's the problem, right? That's why this export may have needed to be kept as a secret a little bit longer. The DXO was trying to preserve the mid lane matchup since they didn't know that yet, but it would have been better to wait a little more to give Keeman the right here, because yeah, Homeboys just always will move fast enough to escape the last Insanity, and it does look like Izanami is going to generally be using the X-Borg ult.
Cho Xbox vào lên 4
skirmishes going on on the left, and right now Malcuti is not going to get dive upon, but look at Izanami, look at the Shadow Strike damaging as of now. Amal on the head
with the flicker, Thunder Trap on SkyZ. Amal trying to jump to his own backline, not able to find it. The Guiding Wind's going to pull SkyZ back to safety, but Rasi going to lose his own life in exchange for the shutdown on top of the Masha. Now Kina trying to burn him down, but guess what? Malcuti does it better. It's a triple kill. It is a paintball party for MelQT to triple for Homeboys.
That's a very easy combination coming in from the side of Homeboys, the side of MelQT right there, just punishing left and right. The side of DXO right there, there was nothing that they can do anything about it, because Mel immediately zoned out 2 members of DXO. There was SkyZ as well as Rasi, and left 3 other members of DXO to fight against MelQT, to fight against Ivan, Amal at the same time, and also Izanami. So that won't work out well for DXO. So Homeboys right now, the understanding of their own job desk is providing a very much benefits for themselves.
We said we wanted to see adaptations from the Homeboys, and they are doing that in droves. I love the creativity and how they're approaching this, because you are right, Adin. Having Vel take away the main DPS of DXO was worth it, even if he lost his own life. We can see that MelQT actually burns down DX faster than Keeman can possibly do.
Definitely. I mean, it's a win in the books of Homeboys, right? Even if Vel sacrificing his own life, but zone out the Harit, that was a big win for the side of Homeboys. And right now, get that damage!
That's obvious, Amal. You're not supposed to be able to do that. But he is nearly level 14. That is a 5-level difference on Siska. One combo and almost all of Keeman's armor just disappears.
And this is a red flag for DXO, right? I mean, if a Firaga armor from the Xbox can immediately be taken care of, it's so bad.
Siska, DXO can try and force a circle. Eagle and found MelQT with the shutdown. But here comes Amal from the flank. Fracture gonna be flickered away from finds the guy's head. Forces Zaman, of course, he's gonna try and escape. Siska buys time for him, but loses his own life in exchange.
Was a very intense fight, immediately popping off. Immediately when they noticed that MelQT opened up the ultimate, everyone knows that MelQT again is keeping death like it's nothing right now. That's cheating of death. Twice is the amount of time Ima tried to get a kill on Storm, but still not managing to do it. But so far, in terms of the stability, DXO proving that okay, they still have the damage. It's just a matter of timing right now. What is the optimal time for them to go and try to get a kill against Homeboys?
I think there really isn't an optimal timing. This comp is very slow. That is the big problem. And you know how we mentioned the team that drafts heroes that are more independent will probably have an advantage here? That is Homeboys in this situation, and they are doing a lot with the heroes they have.
Yeah, I mean, as we take a deeper look at the itemization, right? A Sky Piercer on MelQT, wow, that's very greedy to be fair. Holy Crystal as well, and also concentrated energy. But hey, if it works, I can't complain right now. Rasi is gonna get caught out.
Here comes the last insanity. It's another wants to engage, and Val is in the back line waiting for Jet corner clap in. Rossi explodes. Kimin gonna use his own last insanity, chases down Val, gets a kill in return, but he puts himself in a really bad spot, and Amal will slice him in half.
That's why I said, Val, it does not matter. For one single death of Val, he took away 2 members of DXO, and that's, again, a big win in my book. Lot is gonna march on in the mid side. Homeboys are gonna be well prepared to try to take at least one inhibitor out of the side of DXO.
Lord gonna be crashing in mid lane. Amal working on the top inhibitor as well. Circling Eagle to chase him. Rasi just gonna play it safe, go back home. The mid inhibitor will fall. Homeboys should be happy with that.
And they are gonna be happy with that and back up. There's no need for them to go deeply, try to engage more or push the envelope. They won that fight. They need to be able to wait for the next slot. Meanwhile, DXO, it's super hard, man, because even Skyzer also, I don't see any way for him to be able to open up the Zaman Force and to just dish a good amount of damage without getting disturbed by either Baxia, by either Val with the Thunderclap. So that is one of the biggest pinpoint that DXO sells right now. A biggest problem that they have is SkyZ is not free enough to dish the damage that he can.
I think the break problem is that DXO have just been outdrafted here. Homeboys have flexed their capabilities, they flexed their hero pool, and I think they've selected the correct composition to deal with DXO in this game. I was wondering about the Valentina initially, but the last insanity is actually really good for controlling team fights for the Homeboys as well, since you can do it without running out of health compared to someone like Kimin. So like you said, Adin, I don't think DXO has really any way of opening fights.
So basically what we're trying to say as well, it's Homeboys game to lose right now. And the only way for Homeboys to be beaten is by themselves. If they make a huge blunder, if they make a very huge mistake, and DXO capitalize on that mistake. But so far, it's tough for me to say that they would make a mistake. Although it's not really the realm of possibilities. Look at the back line.
Here comes the conceal. Ivan rolls in, collide with Siska. Vel just waiting for a chance to enter from the back line as well. Siska taking so much damage, tries to escape, but no, Melcutie waiting for it. Last Sandy comes out, Melcutie with the double kill. Skyzen blown up by Siska in the back line. Kimin trying to run away, but it's not going to be quite enough. Loses the immortality. Homeboys are still 5-man strong. Vel blows up another one with that hero. It wasn't Dennis Masha. Homeboys have done it. They have broken through. It is now a 5v1 defense, and there is nothing Kimin can do. Game number 3 goes to the Homeboys.
Game, set, and match, boys and girls. That game was immediately won once the draft has ended. How Homeboys draft, how they flex.
Hey, fly kìa.
Đây expert lên kìa, mới lên căng mày.
Chồng.
Expert lên cái đầu cho tăng sạp đá thì mới ra trở lại season. Mà lên hai giờ nít nha.
Ra nè.
Ê đi em. Crop với Campuchia.
Tí à?
Hai cái. Tổng một toàn trên này.
Bùm.
Em frame em về này. Ok nè, chẳng lo nóคือđể em chấm này anh na bỏ dấu nó trên Philippines đã chia Rocky player từ trên Philippines. Nên là bao flashgate cho cái này nghe có cho mình go lên là bao
bánh nhọn.
Đại Ami.
Cái bánh nhọn này bánh nhai kìa, bánh nhai này.
Bị ai player. Bà một trong cái cho mình là bật long nè cho mình đại expert lên stop mình say trăng.
Na bỏ vô này.
On thoa internet.
Còn là phục khó cái này, càng internet phục máy khác. Con lóc ở phục ở Phật.
Bà, giá càng lớn bay mùi xóa, sẽ lia mùi cái lũ.
Bà,
Cypher này nhâm chăm bọn ai phát này, nhâm thay ai đón nhâm này không thi bà Academy lên là pu ngọt của màn đo. Cypher này cho ngọt.
Cho mình tăng cho một cuộn.
Đang chăm con nuôi.
Từ tia đây ti. Từ tia đây. Ôi này cười. Em cứ chỉ muốn nó bóp. Miền ca đó chỉ môi năng người ta lại được mặc làm một thứ cam mà hai gia rồi chứ để liam bờ hai gia chứ là phải bị cao thế nó thôi người đi khi con này chồng vậy mấy này cái tí nhưng mà nó có sầm nào có cái này ăn tao bảo nó chúng ta kết lại bảo không cái thằng Haya vài kill đập bay cái mọi xí nó cũng xong ở đây Haya rồi còn tay tí có ta kill mình thôi đập bay trăm phần lộc mùi nào kia để set bớ này quạt xong cho ta kill đập bay kia vài kill duyên mình thế em dáng này là chúng mình strat bảo tí bà tôi mà chướng mày play chỗ chạm bay ở tam đó từ đây bên bay
bồn long chặt này gọi mình
đó cho mình tin nào chạm bây giờ nó chọc ta viên
tinh
rồi xì Pina boy wow
chồng ai frog mình cái pick up pin này à bà cháu đó nè mấy nhà bà cháu ai bà gì tranh vì Valentina
còn là vậy ta pick up em mơ mà mỗi xí tốt mới xí học
ta hai rồi mình hai
nó click tình chấp gọi với em thua
bây giờ bà xía đón tiếc ra bà xía đi đâu mới nó sợ búa giờ bà xía tuần tí chui bữa lấy chập đam play strat play rồi này nè vậy nên chơi thì xong tao mà chắc play ra nhau score player bà sân thì bên nè thì ném cho nhau ban promote sorry bro cái không phải là lại giờ promote lột cho toàn nó không phải phải là tạm nó cypher cho nên tầm này là pu rồi bao mà mới tiền pick up pin này cơ oh my god
ôi
cypher tao không được
bọt này lúc ai lúc ơi
và không ai bắt lại thằng rồi bao thằng lại mùi ô chào bờ cho mong này cơ chào bờ cho mong ở đây đâu chứ ở đây đâu cho mong chào bờ cho mong trùng nè pan nhá tăng tranh bị vào lá tao mà chẳng hề vậy lấy đi pan nhá xây cái này nè trùng chẳng
pan nhá chân
ôi
bánh nhỏ
ăn ở đây đâu bọn này cơ khó cái đi mà là vẻ sao nữa bà
ăn ngon
bọc tan khó bạt ôi tính bắt sâu tiền mà xong ấy là cái vài cái bắt sâu mà ghép bắt free kill mà ghép à là bắt sâu tiền chồng
ở đây flash line up đi cái chứ mới mà flow ca lên và con tìm ca chiều
chồng chó nó áp quát mình chớm pháo chúng mình bằng tiền lột tia vài cách là bằng tiền tam đang chúng mình để chiêu thi tụi mình cái này khác thế lột tia từ pan nhà chọn và tam pan nhà từ ban đó thôi mà nói rồi luôn đấy à mà ơi đạp tới thế lên đó
chồng mà lấy ba chấm bà giết đánh bay đâu nó tạt toát cái đáy thương mà ai rồi
cho bên này để bầu tay cho mà hero nào xong bầu đáy cái này cơ này ô bầu free từ làm này em mà tí bồn long đi na tí với đây cái chân rồi làm spawn còn cái đường nạp lâu vô tỉnh phải mặt kia khó hai lần bay không bay kp bay vinh ôi trời
cho mà nói tham bài diễn đấy mình solo counter lời hai đợt màn thế mà solo màn đây nam ơi mày như thế và lấy này cứ quạt copy à là mày là bao cả liên là phải lính chắc cứ quạt bao cả lời lính
trong hai đợt bài tiếp đây
bà rút tiếp là nhóm giấy trên nó pi này ai
pi đói
bà thì comment bà ấy
to đóตัวนั่นเองอันนั้นเนี่ยสเตรทเกี้ยพอปัดตัวtới cáiการตอนที่ไฟจะทอตัวไหนเลยจังจำเกี้ยถ้าตอนติ๊กตัวtới bằng ngốpไฟจะทอฟรีบัดงบเต้คือcái còอันนี้ชิมตอนที่ไฟจะทอvà các bạn follow cho môi trường Viking Esports mà tham Facebook TikTok nó có YouTube nữa sao mà đi đâu có biết cái đó chút này nó cái này chúng mình gameplay lại lò nó cầm cột Viking tournament Viking cái con barrier là bao nhiêu cột nó chỉ biết chúng mình Viking talking thôi đây em xem mà khi nhóm slime Viking ping mày đâu hả bạn này cơ
bà có slime Viking ping ở đâu này
tới smart tới smart nữa tê bà chẳng này cơ tiêm tôi do chúng mình contract mấy bị Viking
ơi cốc bà chẳng phải mỗi tí phần person ai fra can nó một goal đó tới chất phần 8k goal
để đã xinh thì lẹ lũ lượt đây tại đó rồi sọt anti vai thì thôi mở linh anti thì phải đi mà vai anh nha nằm bảo dấu tiền là đăng cái nè just cái thì bóng đá tiền just cái thì bóng nó tè mình em mình nhún cái này hai rồi mà đá thì phải đi pram to nó smart cho mình thua cái đâu lột tiền vai cho mình sải phở mà cao đã cho mình linh nào bao nhiêu chân Philippines mà đây thế vai cho mình đi sauce ấy đi kia mà đây cái nào bên này đi sauce ấy đi kia mình này triệt hai giờ gió
hai giờ mà anh kia sụn vai protein nó tốt á càng mới trông lên tan mùi hai xa bay thật thôi tập pin nè cho một
hai gia tao tình luôn nè
bà
hai gia cho tôi thôi qua nhà đi slot này Chồng, bang, toàn mà trường chủ Tri tới yêu đó prang. Bạn còn để chưa tin nói cho mình rồi mà Cypher ơi, cho nó thằng này lặp pu qua đây mà đong ai phi đó đi chỉ lấy thì 3. Mà tọ cho thằng này cái rồi đó đi giờ ấy miền chiếm cho mình loជួយ
Đại trời.
Mai này mà bên bao trên vai mình đi ai ấm chun pi bắt tay căn cái chứ. Để trên mặt chưa tí chun pi bắt tay căn đẹp. Ê mới tiền. Pi bắt tiền. Chồng, ai đâu.
Bật bạch lan sao? Cho ai bạch lan trên thì mấy vậy ta còn đang tham bạc xe năng thu cửu chập ra miền chẳng còn đang tham mà pick off rồi bỏ thu cửu đã trong tay sầm khán là thu cửu còn đạch buôn nó còn thôi kháng phết mà pick off đạch này bà xí hay đâu bạc xí
bà rau mỡ nè miền lôi chồng lên chăng mà mày em đám coi tao ta cả đánh chơi mà thợ mà chịu team bà
tôi bán kia có thể ta đọ trên bị team fight đây.
Dạ. Họ lấy đi giờ sẽ hiện nay cơ, đã tăng copy anti là kia từ nó mới này.
Đó.
Copy này cái copy chủ.
Các bạn copy đây, copy
không phật gọi chúng tôi Lord King Hong.
Ba, thằng này complex này, chúng tôi làm Viking nhà này, Viking ngồi rồi chú em nhắm tới em sẽ món á, nhưng mà cái phong tầm lại từ pi pom 500 nó ai đọc tích ăn tăng tốt cho buổi chất lúc nè một phần còn đây.
Bạn mấy cái chi choán cho vay cho mình tí rồi mới bỏ bằng cái nón cho mình bon lon cái bây giờ tí ai ba co tí tại link cái phong vay tè link cái phong vay tè giờ mới tập link cho đại tè cho mình thêm vay bên đây kia bà ở đây tí respond toàn thêm vay bên đây nằm lên nào vào vô này chả đà xinh cái nào phải đà chụp thêm vay bên đây giờ còn bên a tia ok này mình đang làm lại ca link dạ nhưng lại ca link bỏ tí tích này cơ tí mình có gọi là cho tôi ăn xong ăn này ospire này đây chỉ off purify tới lên đó off flick tới lên cypher rồi một để su chứ này mà tay cái channel này cái máy tí free get vào spell
Đại trời
ơi nha pi bông nè mà cái này anh ta mà đâu ôi
ôi tay chân mình
IP kia thế đấy đêm sao mà nhăng fleeting time bạn hai bồn long bà cái là con mai sẽ chia là freak toán chỉ muối phọt đáy bồn long ấy lông lột teo quay cho mình thương luôn phải là đã quay vô tay đó mà chưa tốt với chúng mình đi đưa ra bàn tay mà bạn đi cho chúng mình trong cái nói sẵn đó chúng mình sai per đã xinh right
bọc một tí đi.
Đầu tiên vào tiết chúng mình đang đặt cái tay mình tay nó chúng mình đang định siêu tiền mà nó đây này làm đó có bằng cho bạn khi mà quay chúng mình đang nói cái nào bên đây đang quay nhà lông luôn này nói cho cái tam flick là tam ở đây đi ai da phía sau ai đừng học chơi một cái robot bạn thay mình toàn over respawn toàn
lọt mà đó là đọc một tôi bay can đọc khe được bạn không can defend á mà từ tại ấy vừa mà cho nó bóp ra cái lô trở này trong mà lọt này ai defend mà nhưng chưa tham mà lọt này defend mà
Liệp đọc khe
là xí ai rock
dạ chúng mình catchy thì lấy theo cái đồ đi không này bà con mà ra thế bảo được thế link một khóm dạ tay khóm xóa ship tập pin đây tại nó lấy cho receive ba đây chúng mình lo bao giờ cho mình aram
bà ta lọt cái miếng cá clear siêu trend nó plan midland cái miếng cá dạch con đá ta thành HT superman là một vài tết này ta để phân man được cái cái ta lọt TP anh thằng em bà lọt TP anh em ta can lên trend bà
nhưng sao hôm nay kêu nhưng mà để lên này vừa lên con ban copy anti là cái phở môi này
ban copy ultimate ni mà đông clear mà đông hay bao cả lên link tại bao anh em cái này backup là ngày
ok nhưng mà tao bằng ôi rồi
pừng ngọt
toàn mà chơi freestyle phải nhá đại bạt này 300 thục không mà chơi nó tới lại cho nó đi linh đã là chơi nó mấy đâu phải bạt chồng rồi tao ra đi cài này chồng rồi tao nó bị ngạc lăng này vay bao trình này cái tôi muốn mà một lần lột ba tao tìm plug cái chồng mà đầu tiên make the defense not clang non the defense not clang cục này chứ
vang cục
Jadi itulah semangatnya sebab dia orang dah banyak kali datang. Pada mereka yang tak tahu, dia datang daripada jauh tu. Datang dari mana bang?
Dari Senawang.
Dari Senawang, bukan dekat Hai, malah nak cerita lah. Semangatnya sampai bukan sahaja kawan, ada ahli keluarga juga dekat belakang ni, ada juga fan-fan kelab yang dah mula tercipta demi DXOL. Mana suaranya dekat belakang ni, DXOL fans? Inilah semangatnya, ini pentas kebanggaan kita, fan, keluarga, semuanya ada. Pentas dah pun bersedia untuk pemain-pemain kita. Inilah masanya pembuktian match point untuk DX dan juga Homeboys. Tanpa melengahkan masa, let's go to the caster.
Hey, it must be fun to have friends, you know, supporting you on stage.
Yeah.
Bringing up banners, you know, childhood story friends, you know, playing in your own cyber cafe and such. So it must be good to have friends, right?
What's a friend?
What's
I've never heard of this term before. This is a new term to me. Could someone explain to me what is a friend?
A friend. Oh my God, so hard to get one of those DZs, right? Where do you buy them?
How much does it cost?
How much does it cost? Does it come with a pack, or how does it work, right? I don't know. Okay, to be fair, what I know is Homeboys, whenever they get first pick, they can win. DXOL as well. So right now, if we rely on that fact itself, it looks like it's going to be a Homeboys victory. But hey, let's take a look at the keys to victory, because DXOL, they need to be able to play towards SkyZ. I do agree with that. Keep ML under control so far with the Nolan. Very much uncontrollable. Don't let Homeboys take initiative. Siska and Rasi needs to keep Ivan and Vel in check. And they need to go back to basic. Don't complicate the draft too much.
I mean, all of this makes sense. SkyZ is going to be the main carry and has proven himself to be capable of really turning games around as long as he's given the space. Amal, as a player, should not be allowed to have as much freedom as he did in these past 2 games. His jungle pickup was being kept until the very end, which is very smart from the side of Homeboys to make sure that he can just basically do whatever he wants. Even Ivan and Vel, Siska and Rasi are all very important players that play very similar roles of holding space and creating opportunities for the rest of their team. So there's a lot of things that the DXOL needs to keep in mind going into game number 4, but they've proven that they are capable of winning. It's just whether or not they can adjust to the new surprises that Homeboys has thrown at them.
Definitely, I agree with you right there, 150% Sadafa, but we have to dive into game number 4. This is a game winning point or a match winning point for the side of Homeboys. As we take a look, this is game number 4, 2 points for Homeboys, only 1 point for DXOL. Take a deeper look at the draft. Hayabusa ban out. Joy ban out, as well as Kalia. 2 focus on the jungle of DXOL Radar and opening up for the side of Homeboys with the Kimi.
We previously mentioned that after game 1 and 2, the win rate was 100% for the red side, but then Homeboys broke that streak by actually taking game 3 on the blue side.
Yep.
And it looks like they've actually decided to stay on the same side for game number 4 as well. The Kimi's gonna be the Fredrin Loyi from DXS.
Interesting, but I would like to see what do they pair up it with, because with the Loyi and the Fedrin, one thing that comes into my mind is damage. Yes, I do understand Loyi have the damage from the magical side, but I'm talking about the physical side. Are they gonna go for a damaging EXP lane, or are they gonna solely focus on their marksman to become the main damage dealer right now for the side of DXOL, which will be answered later on?
Well, if you go Fredrin in the jungle, then damage EXP is definitely possible. We've already seen Siska play Benedetta during the regular season, and he did a pretty good job on it. So I can see that being the path forward. The Phobius and the Ling gonna be locked in for the Homeboys, so they are keeping Amal on Assassins. Ooh. All right, DXOL trying to play Homeboys' game.
This is what I like. This is definitely what I like. You know, you're providing some sort of trouble, you're providing some sort of disturbance for the Ling with this Masha picked up, but it really depends on who is it or whose the focus is going to be, because without any particular disturbance in terms of the early stages, I feel like the Ling can first farm up well. Second of all, gather all the purple buff that he can, and once the first item has been picked up, that is when the moment for the Link to shine. But so far, a lot of the Links that I've seen nowadays, they don't need to wait for that first item. Immediately once they get level 4, they can rotate mid side, try to win that lane, or try to go for the side lanes.
And that is a possibility, definitely. I'm just hoping that we don't see the Ling throw himself a bit too much.
Yep.
That's what caused the EXO game 2 in the first place. I imagine Amal should have better composure there. And we'll see if Homeboys can rein that in, because if he is able to get an early lead, then Homeboys are almost guaranteed the late game.
Yeah, definitely with you right there. As we take a look at bans from both sides, Matilda as well as Badang is going to get banned out. So no Fedrin Airlines for the side of DXO. We know that it's a very, very scary combination. Badang, I think, is a very good ban in general. We know that the disturbance that he can provide with the fist crack as well as fist break at the same time, just to disturb the positioning. And of course, Link, if he gets hit also, he can get knocked out of the the wall that allows him to not be able to jump around immediately. 1-1 standard ban, I feel like, and of course could be a respect ban at the same time.
But couldn't DX
picked up
play 1-1 themselves?
Could be.
Like, yes, 1-1 is a good counter to the Fredrin, but if you just lock it in, then Fredrin actually kind of works with you instead. So DX is planning a different gold lane matchup. Jawhead going to be the final ban from the side of the Homeboys, and now DX will need to make a decision. They're looking for their roamer and their gold laner.
Roamer and gold laner right now. They're gonna go for the roam first. That is gonna be the Chow. Now you make sense, because you pick up the Chow. If let's say you did not ban the 1-1, you could pick it up in the 5th pick.
Yeah.
And then it pairs up really, really well with the Chow. You know, giving you a target for you to be able to get your crossbow attack. So I'm not too sure. Maybe they just feel like this 1-1 will disturb their own idea that they have right now. We shall see later on.
At least they are setting up for SkyZ, right? That was one of the keys of victory. Play towards SkyZ. They're specifically keeping his hero until the very end to make sure that he has a good laning experience. I think they probably just want to make sure whether the Kimi is mid or gold or
I am now here with Victor Tancabuay, Project Manager of Philippine Esports Organization, and Attorney Manuel S. Plaza, the third Commissioner of Games and Amusements Board. We now have our official representatives for MWI and MSC at EWC 2025. How important is it for us to represent our flag and to show the greatness of the Philippines in esports?
Well, Jamie, dito natin mapapakita talaga na we have so much to offer the esports industry, and we have the competitive truly bring out our national pride.
That is so true. Truly bring out our national pride. What about you, Mr. Kabuay?
Well, on behalf of PESO, we're really glad to be here, no, to witness the excellence of our Philippine teams, especially sa larangan ng MLBB. So, 1 game, 2 champions, no? And inaanyayaan ko po lahat ng nanonood dito sa venue at sa online na ipakita natin sa buong mundo ang tunay na lakas ng Pinas.
Mantit chơi trôi. Chẳng can vậy?
MPL Superfans para ipamalas ang lakas ng Pinas sa tanggiting ng Pilipino. Here are your teams for the MWI and EWC 2025.
Trời. Oh no, MWI.
It's Team Liquid. And Team Navi Philippines.
Ui giời. Ủa mình lại nó khói đấy đi. Sạch đó có sạch.
And now for our MSC at EWC 2025 representatives. Team Team Liquid Philippines!
Team Liquid Philippines!
And Onyx Philippines!
King Kong ay doon, mas happy yun. King Kong mui.
Sila ang magtataguyod at magbabandera ng sagisag ng Pilipinas sa Esports World Cup at Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
They are the pride of the Philippines and the strongest contenders for immortality.
Onyx Philippines. Vậy lò mà tiệt ma ơi. Chồng nó không? Ôi giời. Đã sợ sạch. Nó muốn sợ sạch.
Champions Arena, this is their final quest for glory. Welcome to MPL Philippines Season 15 Grand Finals!
At magsisimula na nga ang laban para sa Immortal Cup. From legends to immortals, ramdam na natin ang hype dito sa Champions Arena.
Parang paglalakad pala ng mga players natin kanina, naramdaman mo na handang-handa sila para sa araw na to. Ilang buwan, ilang linggo at ilang araw nilang pinaghirapan at pinagsikapan para umabot sa Grand Finals.
Some might even say na taon ang kanilang kinayod para maging ganito kagaling, maging ganito kalakas. At kitang-kita ng lahat ang lakas ng Pinas. Pero isa lang ang magiging immortal ngayong gabi. It's TLPH versus Onyx Philippines. Sa best of 7 na to ay magkakaalaman na kung sino nga ba ang magiging kampyon muli. Dahil itong mga to ay nakatikim na ng MPL Philippines Championship.
And we could also say that these teams ay may sarili-sarili na lang na mga championship title. At isa dyan, syempre, ang Team Liquid Philippines. We have Sanford, Cartesi, Sanji, JP, and Oheb.
Nakita na natin for the longest time ang Liquid Stampede during the regular season ay pinakita nilang lahat kung bakit nga ba sila ang tinanghal na pinakamalakas during that time. The #1 seed of the regular season, back-to-back MVPs on Sanji kahapon. Lahat ng mga player dito, Chantel, ay matatawag nating may star player potential sa dinami-dami ng mga plays na ginawa nilang maganda. Pero pakiramdam ko, this time around in this Grand Finals ay mas locked in pa kesa sa kahapon ang Team Liquid Philippines. And I'm excited to see kung ano nga ba yung ililinis pa nila. Dahil kung kahapon ay agresibo at kakaiba, ano kaya ang disiplina na ilalabas nila against Onyx Philippines na narito naman si Kirk, King Kong, Superface, Brusco, and Kelra.
Pag sinabi natin Onyx Philippines nang galing sa play na banana split before, nahanap nila yung kanilang pinaka-ingredient para mapunta dito sa super family form.
Let's go on it!
Naging maganda yung naging run nila, both international tournaments and at the same time
international
local
tournament.
And we could probably say that for Onyx Philippines, they are starting a new
you completely like you say,
ng Sigma pattern in terms of jungling. Napansin ang importansya ng isang post 4 or ng mid lane din at ang paglabas ng mga ibang heroes like Casilena and even ang Novaria na hindi na natin nakikita before. So for Onyx Philippines dito, probably ganun din ang kanila maging timpla para dito sa ating laban. At kung titignan, Umi, at sa lahat na nanonood, mahalos dikit sa ibang mga factors itong dalawang teams natin. But definitely, in terms of first blood, nakakaangat dito ang Onyx Philippines.
At kita naman kasi yung aggression ng Onyx Philippines. In fact, Chantel, para bang agresibo talaga parehas itong dalawang ito. And I would say na kakaiba yung mga early game rotations ng dalawang teams ito, considering na napakalakas ng ating mga micro na pwedeng maabangan. Kahapon lang, Chantel, nakita na natin kung gaano kainit yung mga microhan, yung mga mabilisan na bilihan. Ano pa kaya yung pwede nating makita ngayon?
Probably may ganun ulit, but at the same time, parang pwede din na maging sobrang bilis. Yung tipong walang hingahan, yung magiging game because of both junglers din. Para dito sa ating dalawang koponan ay sanay na gumamit ng mga fast-paced na assassins. Pwede rin tayo makakita ng mga heroes naman that is more on the sustain. So this could be a surprising night. A surprising day, maaga pa pala. Surprising day, going night pa lang pala tayo. Surprising day para sa atin.
Sana nga no, maraming sorpresa tayo makita, Chantel, dahil ang hinihiling ng lahat dito ay masulit ang ticket. Siyempre kapag nandito ka sa Champions Arena, at siyempre masulit ang manood para sa mga watch party natin all across the Philippines. Tuwang-tuwa ako pag nalalaman kong bonding ito para sa mga ibang pamilya at pati na rin sa mga ibang teams and of course yung mga group of friends na nanonood ng MPL.
Oh, sakto. Meron ako kakilala na bumiyahe pa. Galing ng Baguio na isang araw din ay bumiyahe galing ng Mindanao. So ganun ka-importante din, ganun din naging parte na ng buhay ng ating komunidad ang MPL. So maraming salamat kasi Sunday nga pala ngayon at pamilya naman tayong lahat dito.
Oo, ang daming nga nanonood ngayon. Punong-puno po ang ating Champions Arena at bukod pa dyan ay punong-puno din ang hype ng mga tao. Entrance pa lang, ramdam na natin ang enerhiya sa Champions Arena, pati na rin yung mga tao sa MPL Playgrounds. Ang daming nanonood ngayon ng MPL. Selebrasyon talaga ito ng lakas ng Pinas at sana okay yung pakiramdam ng mga players natin, no? Sana maganda yung gising nila para maganda din yung serye na mapapanood natin.
Feeling ko may maririnig na naman tayo dito probably na kumakanta before kasi doon mo magigauge eh. Actually magigauge mo agad kung kabado ba yung isang player or handa ba talaga sila sa isang game doon pa lang bago magsimula yung game. Kasi di ba sabi natin before, body language is also to be considered when looking at the players before magsimula yung laban. So lahat ng mga factors ay talagang pwede natin i-consider kung magiging maganda man ang performance dito ng mga manlalaro natin.
Pero alam mo, ang tagal na ng mga rivalries na napapanood natin dito. At mukhang magsisimula na naman yung isang pahina ng mga bakbakan na to. Pero bago tayo pumunta doon, ay pumunta muna tayo sa kulitan nila sa Smart Team Test.
Hello guys, welcome to the Grand Finals. Puno ba ang venue? Shout sa inyong lahat guys, thank you so much sa pagpunta at pagsuporta sa both teams. Thank you for the effort guys, effort and time and love. Well Professor, what to do? Guys, pinapapili kayo ni Kirk. Marry, kiss, or kill? I love you all. Kirk, sino yung pusong ligaw mo? Ikaw pa rin. Grabe, Team Liquid tsaka Onyx, punong-puno.
Pre, hindi nyo lang laro. Ayaan yung laro yung mag-flow sa atin naturally. Okay? Ikaw, JP, mag-ingat ka lagi pag kay Bruce ko. Kasi kailangan respetuhin yung mga yan. So, wag natin i-let down. Okay?
Agaw sa badang.
Hindi na maulit yung agaw ng Ikaw, mid lane, wag ka mapa-freeze. Wag ka papa-prince. Prince lane na tawag ko dun Prince lane mo nga yung mid. Yun. Sige, gold lane, wag ka papasolok. Pero tignan nyo na lang mga mukha ng mga fans natin. Pero tignan mo mga pagod-pagod yung pre. Isipin mo pipili na haba. Sabay, tapatalo lang natin, di ba?
And that's our Smart Ping Test, bringing you low latency gaming with smart suited promos.
Subscribe to Only5G with non-stop data for non-stop gaming on your favorite loading platforms or at the smart booths right outside our MPL venue. Okay?
Parang ang sarap sabihin na ang saya ng junglers natin, no? Ramdam mo na pagpasok nila sa Grand Finals na to, they just want to give everyone a nice game. At na-acknowledge pa nga ng young goat na si Carl TZ yung effort ng mga fans. Pati na rin si King Kong, sinabi niya na ang ganda ng vibes para sa parehas na koponan. Kaya naman ang ating Infinite